Hello everyone and welcome to the Polytopia WORLD CHAMPIONSHIPS qualifiers. What a day we've had. The quarterfinals have just ended. It has been so hard fought, but we'll get into that. I am Laith. I was the host of the 2025 edition. I am joined by a much better player, frankly, than myself. I know, Funny, how you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. The gameplay was just immaculate. So, like, excited to see some AI-MO today. Ooh, some spoilers.
You spawned a nose. Sorry, I didn't see that last week.
Yeah, no.
That's new. All right, fair. Okay, is that in celebration for what we're doing here today?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, I think a lot of people will see the connection to AI-MO here. And if you don't, well...
You're not in the know. Well, let's address those people not in the know. What are we doing here today? Take me through what exactly the format of the Polytopia World Championships is.
Yeah, we're all getting ready for the World Championships, second one ever in October. But right now, we got to figure out some tribe champions. So every single one of the human tribes in Polytopia is going to be represented by someone as skilled as possible. So this is an all one tribe tournament right now to figure out who is best qualified to represent that tribe. And then on September 20th, once we have our 12 winners there, they'll go to the face-offs, where every single tribe will have their representative. They will play in the top 8 advance to the championship finals.
Of course, the championship finals are very special because they are going to be performed in front of a live studio audience in Stockholm. Players are going to get flown in, hosts, casters, everyone is going to be there. And of course, you at home if you decide to pick up a ticket, which frankly, you should. Now, who are the tribes? Let's take a look. We've had a couple of qualifiers already. We had the Vengir tribe last week, where Mythic RNG did go through and sweep everyone, really, through that tournament. We'll go through that in a second. But these are the tribes that are going to have representatives. 8 of these tribes are going to have representatives going to the grand final. We talked a little bit before this. You said Hoodrick was your favorite. What did you think of the games last week with Mythic coming out on top?
They were amazing games. I mean, there's a difference, right, between Vengir facing Vengir and Vengir facing all the other tribes. Like, just like the kind of strategies. Like, they're probably the most unique tribe out of all of them. I mean, it's a stream. It was like must-watch TV, basically.
I like that.
Check out everything there.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And we actually had our first sweep in a final. So far, they have been bitterly fought. But maybe that will change today with the AI-MO tribe. That is who we are focusing on. We're going to find the tribe representative of the AI-MO, who is going to be chief of the AI-MO. But they have, of course, couple of unique characteristics. Talk me through the AI-MO. How do they play? What do they look like?
Yeah, the AI-MO is another very unique tribe. I'm going to keep saying that, but they're all special. It's just that AI-MO is known for starting with philosophy. That makes all of their tech costs cheaper, so whatever kind of path you want to go for, whatever the map's presenting you, it's very easy to access for you. And generally, you're going to see players picking up, like, everything. You're going to get to very late game, end game positions, like, early on. You're going to see lots of markets, all that stuff, like high economy. They're really known kind of the opposite of Vengir, to be honest. If Vengir is warlike, the AI-MO are peaceful.
Well,
so
talk me through this Mindbender unit.
Oh, yes. So AI-MO is unique in that they are the only tribe to start off with a Mindbender unit, if you don't count Symante's Shaman. But the Mindbender is, like, very powerful if used correctly. They can convert any of only the opponent's units. They can't run convert them, so you have to set it up, play a little more defensively with that. But it can have a huge swing in the game if you just steal one of your opponent's most powerful units.
Well, I'm excited to... you know what I'm calling it? We're absolutely going to see that today. Let's take a quick look at the bracket. We have... Some of these are currently ongoing. Now, it's important to note that Yeti Peaks was the representative of the AI-MO last year. Le Liberateur, who he's facing off against in the quarterfinals, was a tribe representative himself and went to the grand final, but was knocked out in the quarterfinals in that very first week. So far, we have yet to see someone retain their throne, someone retain their crown and represent their tribe 2 years in a row. So the other semi-final still hotly contested. I can also reveal that Viking the Cat was a little bit late, so lost his first match by walkover. So Dux has one in the bag, and we'll see who comes out on top in those other two. But for just right this second, we are seeing Majak versus Willy Bomb. Now, Willy Bomb, you might recognize from previous ones. We've seen him in semifinals before. We've seen him play incredibly well, and now he's made it to another semifinal. It's worth noting that over 1,000 players have played in every single individual qualifier, and you could participate yourself. Not for the ones that have already qualified, of course, but going forward, you can yourself decide, I'm going to try and qualify for one of these tribes. Next week, we have the Quetzali tribe. So if you fancy yourself as a bit of a Polytopia player, why not? There's no harm in giving it a go and give it a try. I think I would. Why not? Do you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, now, what if I, as one of the casters, become the tribe representative? Does that mean I get to cast over my own game? Do you think? Or do you think there might be some secret rules?
We were talking about this actually.
Yeah.
There is an ongoing conspiracy that I am Justini Linguini, that we're the same person, and that I purposefully threw last year so that I wouldn't have to cast my own game, just because it would be difficult to like run between chairs.
To be fair, I've never seen you two in the same room. I've never seen you two in the same room.
Yeah.
It's a fact at this point. So are you officially denying the allegations?
I am denying the allegations. I am not Justini Linguini.
I don't know about all that. I've heard I've heard some very compelling reports. Okay, I've heard some very compelling reports. You have gone on record to say that AI-MO is not your favorite tribe. How do they rank in terms of your rankings? In terms of like, if I was like, yo, you got to represent the AI-MO, how confident are you? Is that an exciting proposal? Or are you thinking I would rather do anything else?
No. Well, the thing about AI-MO is that like I would be excited for the fact that they're a very strong tribe, that they're very good,
good.
that I like them. But I wouldn't be in the fact that, I'd have to study up more. Like they're unique, they're individual, right? Like the kinds of things that I know about other tribes that would help me succeed there are not helping me out in AI-MO. Yeah. They're like their own beast.
So what do we? So you have said that we're expecting very fast tech. We're expecting potential individual game swings. It sounds to me like we're in for a good time if we're going to see the breadth of Polytopia gameplay condensed down into very short bursts, and then at any given moment with a properly set up Mindbender like that, a giant can be stolen and the game can be won. Now, we are going to go to Majak versus Willy Bomb, our very first semi-final. Remember, this is a best of 3, and it begins now. Take me through the start.
Yeah, so you're going to see... Okay, very interesting right here. Willy Bomb running his Mindbender straight away. Now, I think this is because he's the away player. You can tell based on the colors of the players, of course. We have that classic teal AI-MO for the host, and red. Willy Bomb played second here. And he does not want his Mindbender to get converted. This is something that was playing out constantly in the qualifiers leading up to this stage, where players would run their Mindbenders straight into each other, and the away player would be the one who ends up losing their Mindbender. Could happen to the host as well, but Willy Bomb not taking any chances. Normally you're going to run straight to the center, because that leads to more useful bits of the map later on for you, but running his Mindbender into the corner. Otherwise, we're seeing pretty similar strategies in the opening, except an Explorer off of that capital.
Yes, the lighthouse.
Trade, yeah. Well, Willy Bomb, he should be doing his score counting and knowing that he just pulled off an Explorer there. But what he doesn't know, I mean, he can confirm it too, just seeing that he has vision on the lighthouse and no unit around there. What he doesn't know is if that came from an Explorer ruin or if he took it on his capital. After the tech and city capture there, Willy Bomb should know if he's doing his score counting, what happened there.
What's interesting that Willy Bomb's obviously can't see Majak. Majak knowing exactly where Willy Bomb's capital is right now, 3 cities to 1. You have to think Majak might use that to his advantage a little bit. What do you think of that Explorer?
I thought it was really bold. It's worked off. It paid off for him just because like he was able to buy forestry before that second city capture. It's a very common strategy you were seeing in some of the earlier rounds too, that players would go ahead and buy hunting and forestry by chopping a forest on the capital to afford it early on. Just because having those 2 techs, I mean, like, yeah, Willy Bomb's delay, like picking up forestry as well. Everyone wants to pick up that. Okay, Explorer is gonna be much better for Willibom just because it gets him 7 stars. I was thinking another thing that's bold about this Explorer is that it's kind of, if it does meet Willibom, you're only getting a 3 stars from him, and you're giving Willibom that information like where you are, just for the fact that you have an Explorer that can meet like that. And now Willibom has great vision on him. Like, he had the confidence to go with that Explorer. You know, budget according to it.
From the look of the
so
map, do you
Willibom's
anticipate sort of early conflict here, given how close those cities are? I mean, what, they're like within 3 tiles. Now, there are mountains in the way, but they are very, very close to one another.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for Willibom is that, I mean, for both players, really, they have the one unclaimed village up in the northeast. There should be some kind of contest over that. The problem for both players is that it's difficult for them to get their units out to actually reach there. So my question is, who's going to invest more into that? Especially with, you know, how rough the terrain is. It seems like Willibom should have the advantages in actually picking up that village, just with how close his units are, or how close his villages are, how easy it is for him to train units there.
Well, Magic doesn't know how close that other village is. He can't. I mean, he can kind of guess, obviously. But
yeah,
having a little bit of vision obscured is not always the best thing here.
No, it's also just difficult for him. Like, the tactics aren't working out in his favor if he wants to put units around there. Like with the forest east of his capital, that would be a lovely spot to send riders around the mountain. But now Willibom can pretty easily block if he gets climbing ever, by just sending a warrior up north of that third village closer to the center. I think Willibom... I'm imagining there's going to be a little scuffle, but Willibom should take that first village, and as soon as he picks up that village, it's going to like demand some kind of response of like, how do you defend your capital if you're Magic? I think he might just go ahead and try to pick up a giant somehow. So the question is, how is he going to do that? Maybe climbing into mining and smithery. Just with having philosophy already, all these techs are very cheap. But he hasn't really shown his hand yet. Magic has forestry, of course, but forestry and mathematics alone are not enough for this giant, which he might need. He might surprise me with a completely different strategy, too. AI-MO is very flexible like that.
Yeah, he could be.
But he's got the stars now.
Going,
so.
You know what? I'm going to change everything. I also want to be clear. We operate on a delay. So if our players were to be watching the stream, they would be watching a delayed version, so they can get no sort of additional intel. Which is why we're free to make recommendations, and also, well, you can make recommendations. I make general observations, I think, in terms of maybe listen more to I Know Funny than me. I don't know. Who do you think wins in a 1v1? You or me?
Oh, well, I mean, we've never played a 1v1.
Exactly,
we
that's
don't
what
have
I'm
any
saying.
records,
I've never
so it could
lost
be anyone.
to you. So that's the key part.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Magic is sliding into a deep think here. It is a difficult position for him to play out with how expensive it all is. And that's the other thing about the Explorer from early on. That's a long-term... Nothing.
It doesn't take any.
He's just going to bank his stars right now.
Yeah.
He has some plan. He has something he wants to do with those 22 stars he starts with next turn. But for right now, yeah, sliding into a defense. And he's letting Willibom train all these riders. And saying, yeah, you didn't, buy any of the techs that are going to help you out. There it is, climbing.
Nice.
Yeah, Willibom is pressuring that capital. With roads, there's a potential for a capital siege.
Yeah.
And with where he's placed this rider, if Magic leaves his capital unattended, Willibom does just go ahead and step in with that rider.
He's gonna
to siege
dive in this early? Do you think? That would be very bold indeed. Mathematics. Yeah, okay. It's a very fast game so far.
Yeah, it's... I don't think mathematics can defend this position.
No.
I mean, unless he gets a catapult in the back to just prepare for the fact that his capital is going to get sieged every turn from now until eternity. He needs units to actually break the siege on his capital, because if he doesn't train a warrior, the rider just runs in. If he does train a warrior, Willibom is able to buy 2 roads, and that's enough to get all of his units in to get a siege. So Magic needs to have some way to unsiege his capital, and there's a catapult. Okay. So, with Willibom seeing the catapult, population ruin too, that changes things up a lot. He's gotten 13 stars, so it's a question of what tech he wants to buy. I think he might just go straight into mathematics. Mathematics for Willibom is much better. It gets him a giant on his capital. Roads too. Yeah. So, he can go after the siege here. He has just enough stars if he wants to do that. I mean, he's got a few extra if you count the forests he can chop. But, yeah, he's going after the siege. He's going after the siege. Yeah, this allows him to step on that contested village. He's going to be able to use the roads later to go ahead and pick up a giant on his capital with road connections. He's going to have 5 villages. He's sending his riders forward. The capital? Yeah.
Go on.
The catapult will unsiege, but if Willibom sends these 2 riders forwards, then that catapult is in big trouble.
Worth noting that in the semifinals and finals, we've only had one capital siege that's resulted in a win. It's a very, should we say, rare way to win in this sort of matchup. But one that we always look for, obviously. Bit of a statement if you're able to go and siege your capitals, your opponent's capital, especially considering this is a best of 3. I mean, you have to carry that sort of mentality going forward. But this is the kind of aggressive gameplay that we've seen from Willibom in previous iterations amongst different tribes. That is the one defining factor.
Yeah, I think Willibom maybe left his took his hand off the throttle a little too much there. I think he could have sacrificed a rider, pick up some damage on the catapult. I don't think that tactic ends up doing anything though. He's decided to keep himself safe, but this allows Majak to go ahead and actually defend his catapult up in the north. But if he just keeps picking up sieges on the capital, I mean the catapult just keeps picking up kills, so... Willibom's got some space, but the game is far from over at this point. The catapult's well defended. Willibom does have an aggressive start, but he does not have mathematics. With that lighthouse too, the task of actually picking up the giant for Majek become a little easier, and boom! Big border growth is going to stop these riders from being such a nuisance. Going to cost him all his stars though. He does have the 1 forest to chop. I didn't notice any others, so going to have to give up a siege on his capital again. But at the very least, blocking these riders from being nearly as effective as they were. No, earlier in the quarterfinals, Willibom was actually playing against TT, a name we might not recognize from the World Champion Circuit, but he was there last year. He's actually Lei Lib, the Jinji representative's brother, coaching him through some of those games. Very skilled player in his own right. Their series went 2-1. It was the second game where Willibom was able to win with a capital snipe, so carrying over some of that into this right now. He's got 5 stars left. He has a variety of ways to pick up this giant on his capital. As soon as he does that, though, with the monument he gets some easy stars back, like as many as he puts in. Yeah, I might expect him to go ahead after, like, pick up the animal to get to level 2 on this Leto city he's just captured. Then put the Park of Fortune there. But he's got many choices for how he wants to do this.
Absolutely. I mean, the income is somewhat even. The scores are dead. But Willibom, you have to think, his game to lose now. And I don't think he's going to be in a rush to lose it.
No. He's going after those quick level 5 upgrades and then taking a workshop. Explorer!
Interesting.
I preempted incorrectly.
My god.
Yeah.
I think he's probably trying to get one of those lighthouses, but it does not seem to have worked for him.
Yeah, he does pick up vision on the final remaining cities of Majak, though.
Majak now has to deal with his capital siege. What's he going to do? I imagine he's going to hurl a rocket at it. There it is.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that, to be honest. I thought he would go in with a warrior because it frees up that north city. The one thing about the catapults is that they're very difficult to move, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's trained it and he's been able to use it the last couple of turns, you know, effectively. But now he can't train anything else on that city up in the north. It's blocking him off, and he's going to have to invest like a whole tempo on that next turn. He's not even training a warrior on his capital. He feels like he's just going to get sieged again.
I think
he doesn't even want to.
He's probably looking at that catapult and thinking that is the thing that's going to protect this this area. Maybe Willibom needs to start looking at sort of longer term plans. He might not get the little rush he was hoping for. I mean, that catapult is going to kill anything that's on there, realistically. So we're going to need to see something from him on that front. Whether or not he decides to go for that. I mean, again, if you're Willibom in this situation, you probably feel like you have a decent command, and you can sort of take your time here. Doesn't want to take too long, obviously, just in case there is something that Magic can do. But starts to bring that giant forward, and I think it's going to be sort of a concerted push here.
Yeah, I think the border growth was effective at dealing with the initial rush of the riders, but it's opened him up to some other problems later on, like if Willibom is to go into cloaks. Fortunately, if you're Magic, like cloaks are not an immediate threat. But with philosophy, with the amount of income that Willibom has, and I'm interested too to see that play out. What happened down there. Normally, it would be a no-brainer to go after the kick off your opponent from that city, but with this Mindbender here, Willibom is losing his unit, getting it converted. So he does go for it at the end, and now Magic has a Star Ruin. So there's the Mindbender conversion, nice. Famous AI-MO tactic.
It's great that we've seen that early on, because we don't have to describe it, we can just refer to this.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder how Magic wants to deal with this, because if he keeps his catapult where it is, and uses that to unsiege his capital, then there's a little problem in that the rider up there is able to pick up some damage on him. I guess it's not too big of a problem, since this would be his third kill and allow the catapult to veteran healing itself. But it looks like Magic doesn't want to deal with that at all. Instead, he's going to go ahead like this. He gets some damage with the warrior beforehand to change the push direction of the rider, so it pushes southeast instead of south like it would have otherwise. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I cannot remember the path that the rider took to get to the capital, but it seemed very intentional to pick up. He does take 1 damage on his own warrior. Maybe it's just convenient to get that damage on the rider now. But unsieges with the giant push so that the catapult can get the rider north of the village and stay nice and healthy on that city. But again, that's another turn without training any other kind of unit on that capital, or on that north city. In the south, there's something playing out with the riders. Willibom has the choice to, go keep his opponent Magic from capturing that city. Problem is, it doesn't allow him to capture the village down in the south if he does that. Yeah, he's going to move out of the way. He has to move out of the way. Yeah, like this. Steps right back on. That rider at 1 kill now. The Mindbender has nothing to convert since the riders can both run away. Willibom's delaying capturing his 6th city and getting that Grand Bazaar, just to keep his opponent off. And in the zero-sum game, like 1v1 like this, that just makes sense to keep your opponent's cities down. And Willibom getting a Mindbender up in the front, too. Very nice. One of the things about the classic interactions between slow units like Mindbenders and Giants is that if you can stack your Mindbenders, you can repel a Giant, since a Giant will have to kill one of the Mindbenders or run away. And killing will not be an option if you have 2 Mindbenders right next to each other. One of them will pick up the conversion. So Magic doesn't see the second Mindbender. He does have the catapult to repel Willibom's Giant, do some nice range damage that the Giant can't retaliate against. He does have his own Giant on the capital. But where he's really losing is in terms of expansion. He's just down on the city count. He's pretty close on in terms of economy, looking at 17 stars of income versus 19. But after Willibom picks up a few more cities, gets a few more upgrades, just for the fact that is going to be up 2 cities, should be able to be advantaged just absolutely here. the only question if you're Willibom is how do you continue this attack? And with the border growth on the capital and how you're controlling space with Rider Roads as Willibom, it feels like cloaks are appropriate. You can get through those mountains, get through the rough terrain of the forests, everything. It's very difficult with the setup you have with just catapults to defend against that. It's just that it requires some investment from Willibom. Does he capture the 6th village down in the south, pick up his Grand Bazaar? Where does he use it?
Why would he not pick up the 6th village?
Yeah, it's a good question. The only thing I see there is that he could go after this Mindbender. I don't know why he would want to go after that Mindbender, but he would need to use that 5 health rider down there if he wants to kill the rider. And yeah, no.
It feels like Magic has done a lot to keep the game sort of even and competitive here. Seen off the initial jump from Willibom. So we'll see. I mean, if you had to pick who you'd play, I assume you'd be playing in Willibom's sort of stead here. Oh, hello. Nice.
And there's the Eye of God. Very nice explorer from Willibom. Yeah, I would choose to play as Willibom here, but Magic is not out of it, like, in the slightest. Like, AI-MO is known for, heading into the late game. Them, like next week's tribe, I'm not going to spoil, but they do head towards the late game. It's just the fact that they have access to philosophy, really. Mm-hmm. Like, if they can get it, like, just the economy and kind of like stronghold or like fortresses that they're able to set up, the defensive plays that you're able to get. The one thing about playing defensively, I mean, this is kind of true in most 4X games, but definitely true for Polytopia. You only defend on fewer cities if you're able to have more income. Mm-hmm. And philosophy is like being able to pick up like whatever text you want. If you get those markets set up and they're better than your opponents, that's the way. That's the way to getting the defense set up. The border growth on the capital is good in terms of stopping the initial onslaught. And you can see that like Willibom can't really accomplish much around there. And he's trying to reclaim some space too with this catapult. Like Willibom's giant is going to be pushed back. So the question for Magic is, are you able to get your economy going stronger? He is pushing into the water. He's got 24 stars right now, about fishing last turn. And Smithery now. It's not using any ports, not picking up that island city just yet, but just working on his economy. And it feels like, we know the reason why. We just talked about it. Some population growth, and I wonder how he wants to get the last 2 population for what I'm assuming he's going to get a giant up there.
Willibom, pull him back. Yeah. Here we go. Did not think he'd take it. I mean, look, he denied his opponent some stars early game, but I don't think it's going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be a little bit longer here. There was a chance. It looked like it was going to be a quick one, but I think we're in for a longer term.
Yeah, Willibom's needs to find a way to find that like killer blow, and he might find it. And I've highlighted like cloaks as a possibility. He has other possibilities too. Depends on what he's partial to and how safe he wants to play it, if he wants to go into markets of his own before anything else. But like Willibom needs to find something more. He needs more firepower, and the question is if he's going to build it up by like picking up markets first and then building his economy into it, or if he's just going to bank his stars and try to go for it immediately. Play a little impatiently here. But either way, there's a few more turns left before anything. And yeah, he's getting border growth on that south city. Like an absolutely nonsensical play unless you're looking at the potential for markets.
We could just cut you off there, but just an absolutely nonsensical play.
No. I think we're seeing Willibom go into markets here. And finally using that Eye of God he picked up a few turns ago. Just get a few more stars going. Where does he want to use it? I guess there's a question too in if he's getting markets. He does have roads set up, so this needs to buy trade. But after trade, he also needs some tier 3 tech. So is he going to go into mathematics or smithery? One or the other, something has to come first. So advancing that catapult again, and this is why you go after the border growth on your capital. with all of the rough terrain, like the mountains blocking and then the forest in your terrain, Willowbomb's riders can no longer go through there. And if they could, this catapult would be in a terrible, awful spot. But as it is a menace in Willowbomb's position. Maybe he wants to pick up some more catapults. Like, he's given himself the space for it. So, like, one of the best things about his position, like, defending, and now he's even pushing. Like, this catapult is in range of 2 of Willowbomb's cities, making it difficult for Willowbomb to train units there. But first we see him pick up a swordsman over in the west. Maybe he's going to go after... does he have some monument he can pull up? Maybe he'll just go after roads to try to get the swordsman to siege the city over in the east. And yeah, Smithery pick up for Willowbomb. So, does he go Smithery straight into trade, or does he go ahead and pick up mathematics before that? Either way, he's got 8 stars left. He needs to probably train some more units to keep himself as safe as possible on this city that's getting set up to get sieged down here.
Well, that's kind of what Magic has to do here. At the end of the day, he is down by half the amount of cities. I mean, it's 8 cities to 4. He needs to start forcing something. Too often we have seen in these qualifiers where one player is quite far ahead and the other player tends to turtle up and try and rebuff them, which isn't really the play here. Again, for context, these matches can last a maximum of 1 hour, at which point it goes to a judge's decision. So if you are if you're on the losing end and there is a widening gap, that gap is always going to get wider. You need to do something, force a mistake, and try and push through. So hopefully we see something like that from Magic here. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, slow decline into a Willowbomb victory.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Willowbomb's starting strategy, picking up all of his roads and such, all the early villages and expansion, is that he's now in a position where, if we were looking at it just like market to market, you are limited to 1 market per city. So more cities is more markets. I mean, it's already more income anyways, but
it starts to compound.
Yeah, if Magic's way out of this was looking into getting markets of his own set up, playing for that economic angle, Willowbomb getting his own markets and getting better and more markets, just saying I can do anything you do better.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, Polytopia is a game of back and forth and sudden bursts, and you've just essentially got to time your bursts better than your opponent. Like you say, someone putting down their markets and getting a load of income is going to be useful. You might have a short-term increase or short-term way to bring your economy level, but then you got to use it because at some point your opponent will overtake you. So we have to see something like that from Magic. He does have 2 giants on the front line and closer together than Willowbomb's forces. Obviously, 3 to 2 is not a great ratio for him, but there is the potential he could do something here.
Yeah, he's kind of forcing Willowbomb to turtle up right now with the catapults and the giant push. And I have to compliment how bold that giant push was. Until the very last turn, there was a mindbender on that city. He would have gotten it converted and resigned. How did he know it was gone? I mean, in the vision that he did have, he saw Willowbomb's other mindbender retreat, scared of the catapult, and he knows that Willowbomb's not going to leave a mindbender there in range of the catapult like that. So, pretty safe bet, but also it was a gamble. It was a gamble.
Hey, look, like we said, look, you have to take those gambles sometimes, especially if you're on the losing end right now.
Yeah, and does Willowbomb have a veteran rider here? No, not a veteran rider. But able to pick up a nice siege over on that west city, and doesn't really need any more vision, so solid workshop. We are seeing the first market, and it's in Willowbomb's favor, and just look at the income disparity. 17 to 37 stars per turn.
The rich get
more
richer.
Than doubling. Yeah. And he's going to use all of those stars because, I mean, he's been forced to, back up, but look where the mindbenders are. The mindbenders were forced, they can't be on the cities up in the front. But fortunately for Willowbomb, even without training units on those 2 front cities, he still has more cities in the back than his opponent total. So he's fine on the unit count, like in building up his army, like, and those mindbenders are out of range of the catapult. Like if you try to advance the giant, like you're getting it converted, and you can't deal with these mindbenders either. So they're both holding each other off, and Willibom is saying, yeah, while we're doing this, I'm just going to use the fact that I have twice as many stars as you in income, and use all of that to just pick up more income. And then when I have all of the income in the world, I'm going to, like, whatever the fireworks are, if it's cloaks, if it's knights, I'm going to find that, and I'm going to destroy you with it. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Sometimes you can, if you have that superior economy, you could just sort of sit, wait, and take your time until you have overwhelming superiority and go forwards. I would like to see Willibom push the pace a little bit. We saw him sort of poke earlier, but he does have, what, 5 giants to his opponents too, as well as, what, 12 units to Magic 7? He could definitely be pushing here, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the difficulty is with that border growth still. Like, everything that was making it difficult to pick up a strong attack earlier on is making it difficult for Willibom right now. We're seeing another market that's I mean, the sad truth is, like, Magic's markets are just not as good as Willibom's markets.
What would give you that idea? That's another giant.
But...
This is excessive. Yeah. This is excessive.
You should have gone for a park, you think?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Just flex on him.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see Willibom set up markets maybe on the next turn too, and then he's going to have to decide like what he wants to do. I imagine he's going to go into cloaks. It's very difficult for Magic to do anything about that. Like cloaks first, then he picks up knights, uses them in tandem, and as soon as like the first, maybe second cloak lands, I don't know. I'm seeing writing on the wall, as it were, but Magic hasn't resigned, so I give him credit that he's clever and he sees some path for himself. He's picking up markets, but it feels like his markets are a case of too little too late. Another star ruin is exactly how you want to see this start. So, first market getting upgraded a little bit more. We can see another market pop up in the DD city, in the northern city, and then even a level 2 market down in this 4th city. See the economy explode, as it were. But yeah, ooh, nice and defensive of that catapult, advancing the 2 giants forwards, and they're creating a nice wall of zone of control that allows him to advance this catapult again. And yeah, it's gonna force maybe that mindbender to retreat. Problem is the giants are more than capable of dealing with a giant siege there. That is, if Willibom didn't also have the potential for giant pushing on both these cities. He's got population in spades, but Magic's the one who needs to figure out some kind of way to attack here. Will he be able to? He picked up fishing, I don't know how many turns ago it was, and haven't seen much use of that since. Organization too. Yeah, pick up that, and now you freed up the spot to go ahead and put a market down there. Another giant, yeah, 1 star short of the market, decides to go after the giant instead. Happy to get that catapult and have giant pushed it in range last turn. Just pick up some damage on Magic's giant right there. So yeah, Willibom does have some issues with his defense right now. That Leto city is pretty inadequately defended with just the 1 mindbender in range of a catapult right now. Needs to do something about that. Maybe he's going to move his roads around. Get his 2 giants in up to defend, but it seems like he's more concerned with picking up the bigger markets right now. Yeah,
don't worry, enemy at the gates, big line go up, it's fine.
The line is going up, so
it is. I mean, it's not slowing down anytime soon. Undeniably, the Willibom stock market absolutely massive these days. It's just a case of what is he going to use the money for? He has double the amount of units, and yet is still under threat. I mean, he could push in the west at the same time as forcing, so he can split Magic's attention. Again, I'm seeing sort of more passive play from him there, and I don't think that's going to serve well. In my opinion, it's what cost him the semifinals last time around.
Yeah. He needs to get these giants into the defense over there, like give up a catapult hit. But he can defend that city. I think this has to be like his last turn of like setting up his markets, and now you have to like start buying the cloaks or something. I mean, it looks like he's got a strategy that he's pushing into the water, which, I'll be honest, I think it's kind of insane. I do think it's a little insane.
Tell us how you really
like,
feel.
Does it work? It works in the way that, like, you know, if you're... Actually, I can't come up with anything. It works in the way that, like, anything works right now. I should say I can't come up with anything clever. I can come up with a very stupid way to describe it. Willibom can make any kind of attack work here, just as long as he starts, like, doing it, pushing it. Okay, maybe he couldn't do riders, but any other kind of strategy works for him. He just has to decide on what he's going to do and then commit to it. The water, it's like, yeah, that I guess you can start attacking cities like that. Like, I see the way that you're going to pick it up, but, like, why would you do that? I give him credit, like, maybe he's going to do that in addition to, like, something like Cloaks plus Knights, but I don't know. I'm really pushing for that, but it just feels like it's the most obvious solution here. And yeah, Willibom's got his giants up there. Took some damage with that Juggernaut, but is he just going into the water and then pushing into that west city right now? Got sailing, and this is going to help him. The scouts go ahead, yeah. Bomber, and then one scout to go ahead and pick up the damage, or maybe he's. Yeah, I think he might be going after splash damage. No, I think he wants to send this Juggernaut 2 tiles west to pressure that city over there, and then if he can pick up with riders the rest of the remaining damage on the giant, and then. No, he's going to use his Juggernaut to splash instead of pressuring the West City. Either way, he's going to be able to go ahead and pick up the kill on that catapult with the giant cleared. The giants really are the only like barrier to progress for Willibom here. Well, not really.
I mean, he has several of his own. He could literally look. Maybe I'm misreading this. Am I wrong in saying he could just throw everything he has forwards right now and win?
I mean, it's a question of technique, right? Like, yeah. If he sends everything forward, it's like he's getting terrible trades.
Absolutely, but I
like,
mean, he does
his
have
giants are
double
getting
the amount of
like
units.
crushed by the catapults, and then like losing to the giants.
There you go.
Yeah,
and Willibom wins. Magic decides enough is enough. It was always going to be a losing battle, but he does, in fact, well, it was a good showing. I'll say that much. But yeah. Sometimes in Polytopia, we have to acknowledge the fact that it's going to be a lot trickier for one player than the other. Last week, we actually had quite even games. And it's worth saying as well, it's a best of 3. So, what did you think of that game?
I thought it was a great game. Like, I really liked... I mean, it was really bold, seeing, like, the start with the Capital Explorer. That's very rare. We got to see, like, a Mindbender conversion, making use of, like, Smithery and Forestry into markets. Like, it's all the hallmarks of AI-MO stuff. It's just that Willibom was able to play a little more aggressively in the opening and like capitalize on that. Like, it was a pretty clean conversion throughout, like never really risking anything. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can nerd out about, like, you know, safe positional stuff as AI-MO.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. For all of my wanting a bit more action on the part of Willibom, you can't really say that he made any mistakes in terms of how he played. Again, not being aggressive enough for Lath the Caster is not, I don't think, in the Polytopia rulebook of pure mistakes or misplays. It's going to be interesting, though, to see how Magic's going to respond to this. We've seen that mentality plays a big part in these games. We have seen that Willibom has been there before in terms of facing that adversity. So maybe his experience previously will help him in another way. I do want to say as well, in terms of the quarterfinals, we have received word that Yeti Peaks has beaten Liberateur. More on that in a little bit. We'll see him in the second semi-final. Worth mentioning, Liberateur was at the grand finals last year. Falls yet again in the quarterfinals. So far, we've only seen Meisterlampe in the semis from that sort of previous stock. So Yeti Peaks ready to defend his crown. Maybe he'll be the first, but either way, he'll have to defeat one of Majek or Willabomb in the final. Right now, advantage is Willabomb. We're going to get the second game started in just 1 second. We're going to have to see. It looks like, yes, it's going to be Yeti Peaks versus Ducks. So Yeti Peaks, to retain his throne, is going to have to face off against Ducks and then one of the other two. Now, out of that four-person lineup, who do you think, right now, who do you think is going through? Who do you think's the guy?
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. I mean, Yeti Peaks.
Yeah? You're going to back him?
Yeah, I'm backing Yeti. Yeti Peaks and I, a bitter rivals on the square, you know. Like, raise my fist. But, no, I gotta give it to him. Just like the way he's playing. Like, he showed it last year. Qualifying and then making it through to the, very final round before tragically just falling short of that top cut.
Of course, well, he might have
him
to
or
do it again. Well, we'll see. Willabomb still has another game. He's 1 game away from being in the finals. Technically, he could be 3 games away from booking his trip to the next stage of the competition. We'll have to see Willabomb in this sort of lovely turquoise color right now.
Turquoise.
There we go. Take me through this sort of start. Very different one than the previous one.
Yeah, so this is one of the really economic things that you're able to pull off with AI-MO. We have a lighthouse spawn, so we had to send that warrior up north, uncover the added fog tile there. But it picks up a completely free, 0 stars invested population from that lighthouse. Able to get this capital upgraded earlier and rip and explore on his second city. It's going to pick up the, let's admit it, kind of pathetic 3 stars from meeting his opponent. But he sees exactly where his opponent's capital is. And it looks like there's room for 1 village up in the northwest between them, which is going to be serious competition. Majek has a better chance at actually picking it up. Oh, that's not where you wanted that explorer to go. You know everywhere. Okay, he knows where Willabomb is.
Yep.
For the fact that he has that, if he was paying attention to score at all, he sees that lighthouse spawn and the 5 points deducted for that. But what he doesn't see is, his actual opponent. He doesn't get the star trade. He doesn't know what Willabomb is plotting. And Willibomb's taking advantage. Send his Mindbender aggressively in there.
Straight in.
If, Majek tries to send his own Mindbender up north or northeast, tries to push it closer to the center at all, Willabomb gets a free conversion and Majek just can't see it. How does he want to deal with it?
Oh, there was a chance.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, like you say, Majek doesn't know that moving 1 tile north, he doesn't know how close he was to disaster just then.
I think this is going to be a really fast game.
Yeah?
Look, Majek had some unfortunate, the beginning just with the resources that he picked up. He has to upgrade his second city with organization fruits, his capital upgrades with hunting, so he needs 2 different techs for that, or to pick up, multiple different lighthouses. But, oh my goodness. I think there's, potential to attack the Mindbender here, and then just move your own Mindbender into the city. Oh my god. This is brutal.
This could be very
taking the northwest city too, so he's up a city, he's got better upgrades, he's got riders already, and he might be stealing Majek's second city and only upgraded city if he moves his Mindbender in. He doesn't know that there's nothing on the capital, and that he can do that, but there it is.
He moves forwards.
Yeah. No, he steals that city now. He's gonna keep him on only the level 1 capital.
Wow! What a statement of intent from Willabomb here. Does Majek know? Does he know?
And so Majek, what he can do is he can try. He can make a try. If he moves his warrior northeast, attacks the Mindbender, he can get the conversion, and I think he protects his Mindbender for the 1 turn long enough that he can reconvert anything. And if he just leaves the city open too, the rider bounces in. Alright.
Well, he has to do something. Again, he's got 1 minute and 30. Like you say, there's sort of only one real opportunity here. One way to navigate. Now, can he see it with all the pressure? Again, he knows 1 mistake here, and he is completely out.
Yeah, and does he train a unit is a big question. He does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could have been interesting for sure.
So he should be able to keep this village, but he'll lose both his warriors around there. And once both those warriors are gone with riders from Willibom, if Willibom's able to advance everything forwards far enough, he should be able to take out the Mindbender too, and then play with a comfortable advantage, 3 cities against 1. Both of his cities upgraded.
1 traitor convinced. Wow, pushes forward.
Stepping
doesn't
off the
take
village. Yeah.
Very aggressive.
The
there.
idea here is to keep his Mindbender alive, because the 5 health rider can bounce back. You're always taking that city. But now that warrior that was threatening your Mindbender is gone. There is a rider up on the capital. I can't remember. There was no forest northeast of the city.
No.
If there is, like, Willibom's Mindbender is safe. Magic can siege again, but like a convert to unsiege a city. But if Willibom's Mindbender survives here, it reconverts the 2 riders, pick up the kill on the Mindbender. That second city is lost, and he's playing a game like the game 4 cities against 1. No, there is nothing, so the Mindbender will die here. Magic will lose his own Mindbender in retaliation with these riders, though, and be playing down with just 2 what 4 stars per turn against 7 here. Seem to be like 8, 9, even 10 if Willibom picks up a workshop. So very difficult, just off rip.
Well, he has to hope that a mistake is made by Willibom. Again, we're in this sort of quite a tense moment. We saw a similar moment last time with his capital being sieged. But let's see now if Willibom can manage to pressure Majek early, get an early game win that he was looking for last game. Like you say, there are routes to victory for him and a route for defense from Majek. It depends now how each of them deals with this. We see a deadly dance taking place.
It was just brilliant watching Willibom advance that Mindbender into the center like that. Now he's capitalized, but
he is inherently an aggressive player, you know, and that sometimes is rewarded. Manages to get rid of the opposing Mindbender, and you have to think this does put him in a strong position. Now, does he take the city is the question. Rhodes, okay.
Yeah, Rhodes, keep playing as aggressively as possible. Absolutely. You have this early game advantage, like, do not allow them to pick up anything. He
did take his foot off the gas in the last one and led to a slightly longer game. Well, quite a lot longer, actually. A lot longer than the average game that we've seen.
I'm just gonna credit Majek for the really good credible defense he put up in that game. Absolutely. I don't know, looking at it, just look at his capital. Only 2 units that he can train there. You see those 2 black dots. Absolutely pop capped there. So needs to come up with hunting, the 5 stars for hunting. To go ahead, 4 stars, they have philosophy. Goes ahead, picks up that upgrade, and now he's able to actually train a unit on his capital, but doesn't have the stars to train units on both cities. So retreating in the center and leaving his capital open for right now. And you have to prioritize units on the second city where you have no units trained, because you get the 1 unit on the capital now or next turn, you're going to be pop capped either way. So pick up units everywhere you can. You just need to start equalizing on you just have half as many units as your opponent, just start picking up an army. Now, Willibom does have roads, but he doesn't have a credible attack built quite yet. He doesn't have that killer blow to actually, if he steals either city, of course the capital, but if he steals the second city and starts playing 4 cities against 1, that feels like, might be resign time too. He does have a way to siege, but what he doesn't have, or what he's evaluating maybe, is does he have the ability to, set up multiple sieges into the future. He's sending his 1 rider in. Yeah, I think he backs up with the 5 health since it has the 1 kill. The 6 health rider has no kills. He's gonna leave the 5 health on there. All the same, probably not going to see a veteran anyways.
No, I don't think so. Right, I think we may be circling the drain here a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he needed to back up that 6 health rider further. Since the warrior can go ahead and unsiege here. And then the Rider goes ahead and picks up this
Hold
kill
on.
on the 6 health. He gets a nice veteran from Majak.
Magic
is
is very
the capital.
solid defensively. Like, we have seen that. The only issue is defense
Yeah.
won't win you the game, but he's doing as best he can with what he's been given.
And Willibom has a capital siege he can pick up here. 2 roads. And Majak doesn't have the units to unsiege, so that should be game.
Here we go. There's the roads.
2 roads.
Surely he sees it, right? There we go.
Yeah, he's going after it, so... I mean, if he
In
doesn't see it at
there
this
it is.
point...
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is.
That's
Majak
the
resigns.
resignation.
A very quick Willibom victory. He does go all the way to the final. A very, very, very strong start there. Tell me, what do you think of that? I mean, I don't think we expected the game to be that quick, huh?
No, I mean, if anything, you expected it to go on a little
Yeah.
longer, just with like the kind of conservative economic start that Willibom was going after.
Yeah.
Like he was presented, you know, this lighthouse spawn, like run yourself back to the corner, don't get straight into the fight right away. And he did go after that too, but like just he was pushing with his mind vendor.
Yeah.
That is not an aggressive unit.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's
Willibom makes
aggressive.
it work.
It's aggressive in his hands. Man, fantastic stuff. Well, he is going to be going to the final. We'll take a look at the bracket in a second here and see exactly what that does. But maybe he goes all the way. Maybe he is going to be the tribal chief, the head honcho, the representative of the AI-MO tribe. And we've seen now the 2 extremes of the AI-MO gameplay experience. The one, consolidated, economic, slow development. And on the flip end, we've seen a quick game. A very, 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 very quick game indeed.
That's just what makes AI-MO so exciting. They're versatile. They got access to everything, so you have to react to the map. Every map is different, so every AI-MO game is just that unique. You're not going to see the same game twice.
Well, we do look at the bracket now. Of course, Willibom making his way to the final. Up next, we have Ducks versus Yeti Peaks. Yeti Peaks, of course, defeating the Liberator, an incredibly strong player in his own right. Ducks managed to overcome Viking the Cat in a hard-fought duel. That's going to be a fantastic, fantastic game. And one of those two is going to be facing off against Willibom very, very soon. What do you think of that matchup?
Ducks and Yeti Peaks. Wow. Now, I did back Yeti Peaks here, but I'm not going to count Ducks out, like, in the slightest. I don't know, like, I would love to just point to the fact that he defeated Viking in their series and say that. But Viking, I have to talk about his story to understand, like, why that's impressive at all. Because Viking has had a very tragic relationship with the World Championship Series this year and last. He's just been pushing, like getting into every qualifiers, and then just getting cut tragically short, like losing to Meister like a couple weeks ago.
It's worth saying, like you said, he tragically cut. I mean, he was late to his own games, which meant that he actually went 1-1. He won 1 and lost 1. That wasn't enough because, of course, he did surrender. You got to be on time to these things, as you should be, because we are going to have a very, very quick break here and go back for our second semi-final to find out who's going to be facing off against Willibom. We'll be back in just a moment.
Okay, we have to talk about it. He played this card like playing Slipping Boys. I'll be
Hello and welcome back as we are going to find out who is going to be facing off against Willy Bomb in the final to represent the AI-MO. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. You think it's going to be AP?
I mean, I do. I gotta give it, like, I give the whole tournament to Yeti Peaks.
Yeah.
Like, Willy Bomb just gave a great performance.
You're
so I'm excited to see them play.
Filthy Yeti Peaks enjoyer, I think, is the official term. As you can see, Willy Bomb, after going 2-1 against TI, defeats Majek quite decisively in a back-to-back sweep, putting himself in the final very firmly, whereas Dux defeats the ever-present Viking the Cat. Well, I say defeats, it was a 1-1 because, of course, Viking the Cat being a little bit late forfeited his first game, so 2-1 to Ducks. He sneaks his way into the semis. Yeti Peaks defeating a very strong Liberator to make his way to the final. So now we're going to be focusing on Yeti Peaks versus Ducks starting in just a moment here. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I have to say, questions are going to be asked of Ducks in terms of technically, he won only one game. You know, that's not his fault. He was there on time, to be clear. But will he maintain that pressure? What do you think? What do you think of these players?
No, they're both fantastic players. I think Yeti's had like the longer track record of like a success, especially in faster time formats and smaller maps, like what we're playing on here. And he's the AI-MO specialist. Like he made it last year as well. But Ducks is no slouch at all. They're getting started right away.
Let's see, take me through the start.
I mean, Ducks is one of those names like you're ever running a tournament, Polytopia, running anything. You see him and you're just like, oh no.
As in a player or an organizer?
Up against. You don't want to get matched against him because there's a good chance
I thought
your tournament comes to an
don't
end.
like him. You're like,
no.
I'm like, God, horrible.
No, he's a very strong player. He's had tons of tournaments, and he's trying to push it here on AI-MO as well now. Now, we're looking at some pretty interesting starts for Ducks down there. Like, this is kind of a tale of two starts here. Like, look at the land. Like, land locked for Yeti Peaks. That might even be a problem later on. You love having access, if you're going to be, you know, connecting all of your cities with ports and such, you love having that one tile of water on your capital so you can get those port connections. Okay, this is a very popular strategy that we saw used a few times in qualifiers, where you go ahead, pick up forestry, and chop everything. Usually it's limited to picking up an upgrade, but he's going to chop a couple more to pick up another warrior as well. Meanwhile, Ducks, his expansion's getting cut off here in this little tiny inlet of land.
What do you think of the map so far, then?
Yeah, Ducks has that one tile of water, though. So if it does end up being a game played on the lake, headed toward the late game, we're going to see that maybe Yeti regrets chopping all of that, you know, getting rid of all that population that could have been for the, you know, more like earlier start, especially all this water between them. If Ducks is able to get on the water, just dominate there, who knows how it could play out. I mean, it doesn't look like there's potential for early aggression, just with how far apart they are and the fact that there's this giant mass of water between them. But maybe that's plays to Yeti's advantage anyways. He just expands really quickly, picks up more villages. I have to see how they go here. Both players getting a ruin. Look out for that as well. I mean, Ducks' game plan seems pretty obvious. Like, he has to pick up fishing on the next turn.
Absolutely.
Gets his second city upgraded, gets his third city upgraded, gets him into the water. A veteran swordsman for Yeti. All right. It's very solid for him. I mean, just in terms of expanding, he does finally get some access to this central lake, which is going to be important later. I'm not going to say might be important later. It will be important later. Take notes.
So out of the two sides, which one would you rather take control of right now?
Right now, I'm a fan of... The Star Rune's changing things, but right now I'm a fan of what I'm seeing going on for Yeti. Like, he has more villages. But Ducks has late game compensation and just like the fact that he's got such great access to this lake. I mean, he picks up another village up in the north, sends some more ports, picks up stuff in the west. Like, both players, I think, are likely to pick up a Grand Bazaar in the, let's say, near future. Near as in, like, the next 5 turns. They're just going to have, like, the number of villages required for that. So, I do like the fact that Yeti's able to expand quickly, but if it doesn't turn into anything on the lake, and Ducks is able to keep himself a little more composed there, Yeti's going to pick up the stronger star trade, and we are seeing the villages exactly where we predicted. Some more water access for Ducks. Yeah, if Ducks is able to pick up like just a ton of giants and start pressuring Yeti, he's got some pretty isolated cities. I mean, both of them have like essentially the same number of cities we're looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Like, including unclaimed villages. 3 against 4.
Timing. Okay.
Yeah. I wonder what Yeti's plan is. Like,
Yeah, okay,
long-term
good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one confused about that. But less confused, more like, intrigued, I think is the more polite way of saying it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it makes sense, like, to pick up climbing if you're planning on, like, Smithry and market stuff, especially with how you get to the late game, like this, with the giant lake in the middle. If you chopped everything away, and mathematics I mean, he got mathematics anyways, so. What does the climbing do for him? I mean, it's not like, it's not bad. It's just why now?
No. I'm not. Again, I'm trying to figure out what his plan is. And
Yeah.
why I don't understand it. Ooh, that's not ideal for him, is it? Duck's bumping into a little bit of a mountain.
I mean,
there.
Ducks already has climbing anyways, so.
Oh, of course, yes.
Little bump. And if anything, it's going to get him a vision on that lighthouse in the south a turn earlier, so. But we're seeing the ports, like Ducks in the water right away. Now there was potential for maybe, this is why Yeti went after all those chops early on. There could have been a fight for this village in the southwest. Instead of that fight now, Yeti's just going to be able to pick up this village, and that's going to, it looks like, be 6 villages against 5. Maybe there's a village down in the south that Ducks gets, and we'll see 6 against 6. Very even, with Yeti having larger control of the map, but his villages are more spread out, which makes them
a lot harder to
more difficult to defend.
A lot harder to defend. I mean, we have seen that sort of time and time again here. You do want a sort of more consolidated setup if all things else are even, which, to be fair, they never are.
Yeah, and we're looking at the rider that Yeti just picked up there. He's waiting for Ducks to step on that village. He's going to pick up a couple of roads, and he is going to try to steal that village from him. And yeah, Ducks, for his part, doesn't have the units to like safely step on there. He does see the city borders. He does see the riders that Yeti's had for a few turns out in the west. I wonder what he does here if he steps on the mountain or the village. The village is a big mistake here. Does he take an explorer on this city? He doesn't have yeah, he does have forestry. He can take an explorer here. He can also, yeah, go ahead, start by picking up the giant on his capital with these fruits. I mean, he went for the level 4 village, so I'm not seeing any reason he wouldn't want to go ahead and finish the job, as it were. Yeah, so gets the giant, and now he's got this Park of Fortune. Imagine he drops it on that east city. He's going to step straight on it. Okay. That's going to... Yeti should be able to just pick up roads here and then kick him off. He banked those 9 stars for a reason last turn. I think he still has some forests to chop as well if he really needs them. But he doesn't. So now Ducks has to defend himself on this village. Yeti's going to put a unit on there. Ducks cannot kick him straight off. He does have a giant in range, but it's going to be difficult for him.
What do you think he should do here then?
This turn, he probably should have taken an explorer. He doesn't feel... He wanted to greed. He wanted to play very greedy. He wanted to not take an explorer on his city in the Far East, and he wanted to get that explorer on that city up northeast instead. But now he gets nothing because he doesn't get that village at all. In fact, he gives it up to Yeti. I think he wants to get his... Ducks needs to use that giant to, defend this city. Instead, if he just stepped on the mountain, doesn't give up the village, or maybe even just, walked away from the village entirely, put his warrior that's in the port, instead of putting it on the port, if he put it northeast of his village so that it's in range, and he makes sure that Yeti can't pick up that village while he sends his giant to pick it up, that's the most conservative option, but it's what he had to do here. Yeti was not giving him the option to not pick up, to step on that village, or play greedy like Ducks did. I think Ducks got a little overconfident with the shape of the water.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Well, look, it's going to be Ducks' waterway to lose, I think, if things carry on as they are.
Yeah, he can go ahead and pick up a chop here. He can kick Yeti off this village. He needs to get 2 scouts to do it, and it looks like he's doing exactly that.
There we go.
And
Nice.
imagine that he sends the giant into the port. It keeps it, yeah. He can send it towards the village if he wants.
Now, are you sure you're not playing? Because you're narrating exactly what's going to happen about a second before he does.
I mean, it's forcing moves, you know? Like, there's nothing else to be done.
Yeah, all right, Justini.
Yeah. So, but the real question is what he wants to do with that giant from this point. This was always Dux' advantage in this game, is he gets into the water earlier, like, because he's forced to. Like, he doesn't have, you know, the stars to, like, he doesn't have anywhere to go with roads, so he's not going to spend his stars on roads. He's going to go ahead, yeah, pick up these scouts in the water, this juggernaut in the water, these ports. Like, Yeti doesn't even have fishing. Yeti, for his own part, is going to hope that he can defend whatever push happens. But there's really two places he can go here. If he sends the juggernaut towards that, like, kind of difficult to defend city that Yeti has, Naidi, then Dux is able to drop his juggernaut, like, 2 towers northwest, like, keep it in the water, and then use 3 scouts to, like, clear out a defense-boosted warrior there. So yeah, Yeti's looking at, yeah, he's got 6 cities, so I'm pretty sure Yeti would just counter that with a giant push, 2 monuments. I feel like Dux's best play is he has to try to pick up that village somehow. I feel like just keeping his giant out of the water, put your giant on the mountain, put it on the city, capture, then re-enter it into the port if you want. But yeah, there's no aggressive tactic right away. Just keep Yeti out of the water immediately. Like, that's your big plan.
Yeah, I think that's always,
Like,
we've seen that sort of time and time again, where one player has got that early water access. They do need to sort of desperately stop their opponent from getting into the water in the first place. If you can stop that, then having control of the waterways is very useful. Obviously, mathematics on the opposite side can still hurl things in, and of course, riders can pop in and attack anything on the coast. But having control of the water has been impactful time and time again.
Yep, and there's that one island village down in the south. There's mathematical proof that it's a village down there too, but we need to get into that.
Go on then, why not?
So, you see that fish down in the south tile.
See the fish.
All of the resources on the map are spawned in after the villages. The villages are spawned in, and the villages spawn in the resources with them. They can only spawn in resources within 2 tiles of a village. So we're looking, that fish down in the far south, any other possible village tiles? Nope, it's just that one island you can see by the shorelines down there. So a little scout will go ahead and uncover it, and Dux will step on it. So I really hope that Dux uses his giant to capture this village up north, and it'll be a very even 6 city against 6 city game. Yeti would have, you know, maybe some advantages in getting markets for not getting into the water quite as early as Dux did, but he chopped everything away, so his markets are not the strongest. Yeah, Dux is keeping his options flexible here. He's giving himself the opportunity to go after some siege, although, you know, just training a fresh warrior on that city will make siege not possible there. He's also giving himself the ability to go ahead and pick up that east village. Maybe Dux just wants to use his warrior to capture that, though. It'll delay him a turn. Either way, Dux should pick up that 6th city and equalize things, but for right now, Yeti already has his cities. He also has roads, mathematics, and going into climbing, so maybe like some smithery angles. Like the plan for markets is like obvious, but it can be really obvious. Like if you're just going to use a battering ram against a door, it doesn't matter that it's obvious. Like, you're going to win.
You don't need subtlety, you need a big stick. Markets are the big stick.
Absolutely. So there's the first. Yeah, look at these market spots he's setting up. Yeah, between these 2 sawmills, and a nice level 5 upgrade. And there we go, trade. Which spot? Yeah, he's gonna put it on here. Gives him some opportunities for upgrading with, like, I mean, really an otherwise awful forge spot on that west city. but maybe he wants the extra 1 level on the market. Who knows?
Yep. Is he going to turn this one into? He's thinning out that giant at the very least. Nice.
Yeah, using the giant to pick up the city immediately.
Good stuff.
He doesn't have all the vision that we do, but I feel I agree with this play. The other good thing for Dux is having the West Lighthouse, now that it actually captures the city and was able to prevent... he's not like stealing it from Yeti. If he stole it from Yeti, Yeti would have picked up an Explorer and prevented him. Now that he's capturing a fresh village, takes that Explorer and goes ahead, picks up that last lighthouse in the north. There we go, mathematics. Like the same kind of game plan, it's just a little different in terms of like the order of operation. Dux has to go into the water and try to make use of the fact that he's on the water first, advantaged there. I might have said something erroneous about him already having that West Lighthouse, but he picks it up, so...
Unforgivable, I'm afraid. Most people don't know this, but if a caster gets any facts wrong, they are put to death in the next live stream, so...
Oh, I thought it was like our pay was docked.
No, God, no. No, it's
death.
Yeah,
Death.
It's gone. We don't make mistakes here.
No. Yeah, I'll see you guys never, but at least I get to be here with you for the rest of this cast.
We can't replace you to sort of... I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I will allow it if you confidently predict who's going to win this game and on what turn.
Oh, confidently?
Yeah. Best guess.
Yeah, so Yeti already has the markets going. It is traditionally difficult to get yourself established on the water, but like this is the way that you do it. Like we saw a lot of success with this. This was like, basically the Hudrick playbook. Sawmills and markets first, and then you get into the water. This is more difficult with I-MO, just for the fact that you're getting fewer juggernauts in the water, and it's, the number of juggernauts you have that really helps you out in getting yourself established on the water, everything like that. So it is difficult to say, but I am giving an edge to Yeti here. I feel like he's got everything. His strategy is an effective one. We've seen it work before. Like Dux's strategy is also effective, but I'm a little worried about it, just with the delay he's had on that village in the east. And he's working, keeping his catapult safe, trying to deal as much damage to these juggernauts as possible, keep the rafts out of the water. He's using the fact that he was already on the water to his advantage. Wow! Yeah, the Mindbender. Yeah, you can't attack anything now. The other possibility I was seeing was another scout down in the south. You just make sure you kill that raft before it gets upgraded into anything. I'm delaying answering the question. My guess is Yeti peaks and on turn 23.
Okay,
It'll be a
Yeti
late
peaks
one.
turn 23. Right. I'm going to go Dux turn 18.
Dux turn 18. He's turning it around fast.
Watch. You'll see.
I'll see.
I'm staking my professional reputation on this. Watch. I don't know how he's going to get it done, but he's going to do it. He might cut the Ethernet cable of Yeti. We don't like that. That is available. Now, in the rulebook, that's not disallowed. That's all I'm going to say. I spent some time studying it.
We're airbutting this?
I think we might be. Right, let's see what Yeti's going to do here. Inch closer to that turn 23 victory. You say sailing.
I mean, I do see Dux as having, a way to get this turned into a win. Wow, he's getting a scout there. I mean, something you can do with the market income, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
I mean,
Dux is able to use his water and steal a city from Yeti in the next 5 turns. That could lead to a resignation. We see Yeti sees the catapult too. He knows that he's putting his juggernauts in range of it, but he lets the one juggernaut die so that the other juggernaut comes in with this veteran swordsman. You have too many targets. He's just overloaded. Another juggernaut up in the northeast, and Yeti's saying, "Okay, you had it was cute what you were doing in the water before,
but now I'm here.
I'm in the water too, and also look at the incomes.
You know what?
I've
You're
got
right.
the
Turn
bigger
19.
stick. Turn 19? Okay.
Yeah, instead of turn 18, I got give one more turn for Dux to turn this one around.
Dux can get it done. He does have another big attack ready next turn. He's got rammers, which are great at tearing apart these Juggernauts. He's gonna get his Eye of God after this Explorer. I mean, if he doesn't, I'll do a twirl, I guess. Yeah, he gets it. So no twirls for you. No twirls for me, really. But yeah, how does Dux want to use the 17 stars here?
Well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the problem is this, what's really dangerous is not the Juggernauts. The Juggernauts are the obvious threat, like if they siege you, what are you going to do about it? But it's really these rafts. If you get like the veteran swordsman, like turned into a rammer on your city. Yeah, he's going after the raft.
Yeah, he's gonna have to sort of be aggressive in this, but he just doesn't have any of the forces ready to deal with a concerted naval push here from Yeti. He's doing what he can, but I don't know that it'll be enough. Nice, veteran swordsman gone. So we've got the 2 juggernauts in front of him, and then a scout that raft. I mean, we're gonna see, I think, a lot more forces descend upon this sort of lake here.
Yeah, and the Mindbender is unfortunately a little shot here. It would be, you know, able to repel like a single Juggernaut here, but you know, with a scouts to back it up, and then 2 Juggernauts, you might see that the Mindbender just disappears. What is well protected is that catapult, so pick up some more damage on these Juggernauts immediately.
There's the splash damage.
Yeah, how does he want to do this? He can upgrade that swordsman into another scout to pick up a siege with his 29 health Juggernaut. No, he's not going to do that. Gonna go after some damage on the catapult though.
Oh,
I feel like there was potential for clearing that city.
there it is.
That,
there it is. Turn 14 resignation.
Okay, turn 14.
Yeti Peaks does win. Yeah, sorry, did I say Dux? I mean Yeti Peaks. So, what a game, though. What a game. I think both players played really well there. You have to give it to Yeti. I can see why he was the champ last year. Is the easiest way I can say that. Fantastic, fantastic play, really. Well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, there was a potential for a much longer game in there.
Yes,
I think it was really settled when... I think Dux got a little insecure about his position. He got a little greedy with, you know, stepping on that city when he really couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
There was still potential to play on after that, but Yeti's clean. Yeti's like clinical, like put him on the operating table and just like, you know, went to work.
That's a great image there. Operator as opponent. Now, it's worth mentioning that this is, of course, a best of 3. So these players are going to play a minimum of 1 more. Of course, Willy Bomb got into the final playing relatively less Polytopia than we've seen people sort of get that. It's very rare, actually, for 2-0 to happen at this stage of the game, both in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So it's all for Dux to do, is he's going to have to go and reverse sweep if he wants a chance in the final. Yeti Peaks, just 1 more game will do it. And what do you think? Is Yeti Peaks a mentality player, do you think?
I haven't seen Yeti Peaks get tilted, but I have seen him get drunk. So if it goes on too long and he needs a drink, I don't know. That might factor in. But I mean, in terms of mentality, like, you know, he like plays like these bullet tournaments for like 12 hours a day, and like, you know, just sweeps like bracket after bracket. So like the length of time, longer it goes, like yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. And you've sort of played a decent amount of competitive Polytopia. How does a loss in terms of a best of 3? How does that hit you?
Ooh, I mean, it depends on who it's against, right? Like if it's against, you know, if you're playing against Meister and you lose, you just go, okay, like I was expecting that, like sure, whatever. But if it was like, you know, someone were like it's a must-win situation, or like, you know, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, it's really just like how much you're psyching yourself out there. So all depends on like what Dux's relationship with Yeti Peaks is. I think they've had some tensions, some flare-ups.
Okay, like right. We've got a little bit of interesting
drama.
Okay, a little bit of drama
talking
here.
About each other.
There we go. Yeah. So Yeti Peaks takes 1-0 in this series. We'll see if he's able to keep that threat ongoing. Now, having seen how both these players play, how do you think Willy Bomb will fare against either one of them?
Willibomb, yeah. So I have to point out that Willibomb and Yeti Peaks are very good teammates in one of Polytopia's you know, fan-run competitive leagues. Okay. So they spend like, you know, years together planning out turns, everything. They've got that like camaraderie and everything.
Like brother type.
Dux is from a very competitive team with them, you know. Okay. Like that rivalry intensity there. So I think, you know, it might see like I'm happy no matter who wins, but like it's gonna be me if it's Yeti Peaks. and Ducks must die if it gets to him. So,
all right, interesting. Okay, right, we're gonna get right into the next one in just a moment. Will Ducks do it? Will he get a reverse sweep to get to the final? He has to win this next game. Yeti could put it to bed right here. The drama unfolds. Take me through the start. What are you thinking?
So Yeti's just aiming his Mindbender at where the resources are. There's potential maybe for heading towards the lighthouse, if not for the fact that he's blocked off by that mountain down there. Ducks, yeah, using his host, I'm gonna go ahead, pick up that lighthouse with his warrior. Ooh, okay. There's too much going on right now. I feel like a dog chasing squirrels. But
take us through the squirrels
one
by
by
one.
Yeah, different interesting starts. I mean, this is one of the classic things in Polytopia. Do you go after the ruin or do you go after the village? I'm sure it's village here, right, Yeti Peaks? He's thinking about it though, so ruin, okay. He's a gambler. That could be anything. I feel like even the worst ruin results here are pretty solid for him though. So this was something we saw Ducks running a lot. Ducks had a series of very nice, I mean, admittedly practice games against another one of the finalists. He's able to pick up some, double push conversions. Tactic I hope we'll be able to see in this series, but
oh, well, they've met now.
This was his kind of classic opening where he would just play for going into forestry, picking up chops early. It's the kind of strategy we saw Yeti go for last time. And Yeti, for his part. Now, this is what I was seeing with the veteran swordsman potential here, and what I hope or imagine Yeti was seeing as well, is that a veteran swordsman is not the worst thing, even if you're not going to be able to use it immediately, because it pushes your Mindbender closer to the center of the map where you'll be able to explore deeper, and you just use the veteran swordsman to run back and pick up the village that you skipped over earlier. Unfortunately for that, it's just a bunch of water. There's nowhere to run that Mindbender. So the village, I'm feeling a little vindicated. I don't know.
We just need to see
how he wants to use that Mindbender.
When Yeti finds Ducks here. Again, information is the most critical of resource beyond stars, beyond units. And right now,
Absolutely.
Yeti can only sort of guess as to where Ducks is, whereas Ducks knows exactly where Yeti is.
Look at that Mindbender just standing there for a couple of seconds. Yeti lost. What am I going to do with this
Menacingly.
guy? Yeah, Ducks has the superior economy right away. He is going to trade way more stars to Yeti for getting that later star trade, though. Yeah, he's really hoping that he keeps the score under that 2K threshold, and Yeti picks up like an explorer, maybe with like fishing, gets 5 stars instead of 7. But in the immediate future, we're looking at 3 villages against 3 villages, with both players trying to head to the northeast. If it progresses towards a water game, though, look at the port access. This he's got the second city with some fish over there. He's got like 3 ports over on Lake D. Neither player has that capital port access or like port connections. So we're seeing Ducks deciding what to do in the face of that. He does not want it to go late game. He does not want it to go into the water and be decided by that against an opponent who has way more ports than he does. So Riding picked up, wants to run it on land. I don't think we're going to see an aggressive start, but I think that's just to get everything running up to the northeast, expand out to those villages as fast as possible. And yeah, this Mindbender just running further south. Maybe it's just heading towards the lighthouse. Ducks' Mindbender getting pushed aggressively in there too. He might be creating a little heal station. We haven't seen that too much. Willowbomb was in game 1, threatening the potential of something like that, where Mindbenders pair very well with Riders. Riders are only weak in that they take some retaliation damage on their first attacks. But if you have a Mindbender there, willing to able to heal off 4 of the 5 damage you're taking, then it's really no problem. So an aggressively placed Mindbender might be there to just heal his Riders and just get them to attack again and again. I think we might see this warrior die to the riders and the mindbender healing.
Which is going to be very funny for us because Yeti Beats does not know that it's there. That this sort of overwhelming force exists in such close proximity.
That's also the problem with going after that. Like, sure, you know, it looks good on paper that you get this attack going, and you're not taking any damage. Ooh, I think there might be a capital snipe here.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, he can kill this warrior and then just siege. And then the question is, like, what does Yeti do about it? Does he have the units to unsiege?
You're right.
I wonder why he's going after it like this. Okay, he wants the 2 roads to do it so that he can also block.
Nice. I don't think he can deal with it.
Yeah.
I think he's just sniped the capital.
No, it's a very
oh my god! I think that's it.
He doesn't want it to go to water.
Okay, what can
He's got
do?
7 stars to work with.
Let's see.
But no units.
I don't think he
Just
can.
for a
I'm
rider
looking...
up north. No, there's nothing.
No, oh my god!
Yeah, very quick game too.
Well, there we go. Very well played from Ducks. Yeti had no idea what was going on until it happened. It's 1-1. We're going to the final game in a very, very quick match. That was quicker than the last one as well. Than the last second game that we had in the previous semi-final. Fantastic from Ducks. God, that's going to be really disheartening for Yeti Peaks. You grind out a victory slowly, bit by bit in that last game, only to have your capital sniped in the next one. Wow. I was saying we hadn't had
7, no less.
We hadn't had a capital, like a resignation to a capital siege in a very long time. And look. AI-MO, king of the upsets. It looks like Yeti Peaks. We are going to be going to game 3. They're going to be getting started any second now. I mean, what's your take on that? Is there anything Yeti could have done?
I think so. He did play a little bit of greed and not like taking an explorer. I think if he picked up fishing and explorer on his second city, and that got vision on ducks for him, he would have seen what was going on. The explorer he picked up on the east city too, after he got fishing and he knows that it's gonna head to the northeast. That's a very greedy play. You're getting an explorer that's helping you out when you get ports and such later on for pushing through the water, but you're not doing anything to be aware of what's going on in your position, the problems at home. Even just training a warrior on his capital, he keeps pushing west. Dux is in the west, right?
Honestly, I don't think he did. I really don't think he did know that Dux is in the west.
Especially after that explorer he took. He sees he's not in the east. He sees he hasn't expanded out from the north at all. So you can assume what's left. And then with what's left, why am I pushing this warrior in range so that I can allow this bounce into my capital like this? And I have to really compliment the vision for picking up roads like that too.
Yeah. And the way he did it as well. He was very safe about the entire thing as well. Goes beyond the capital and then picks it up.
If the veteran swordsman over in the east, if that rider weren't there blocking, we could see some roads played, and then the capital gets unsieged, and the game's just completely swung off of that.
I mean, I think that's the quickest. How long was that? 6 minutes? 5? That's the quickest.
Something
one so
ridiculous.
Far. Man,
yeah.
Look, sometimes we get long games, and I want to also be clear in terms of the rule set. What we have is, if a game does go an hour long, then the players take their last turn, and it goes to a judge to make that final decision. That's only ever happened once, but we do have generally these longer games that have threatened to go into that territory. This is definitely the quickest one on record. So congratulations, Ducks, on that one. There you go.
You've also, looking at the resulting position, we got this mindbender here, right? It ran northeast, east, north, onto the ruin, got pushed north, went down a couple of tiles, and then instead of heading back to the capital, it ran back up north. Imagine if it was right next to the capital, ready to convert and keep that safe. So a little lackadaisical. It's very easy if you don't see your opponent to not acknowledge that they're there.
When you can't see something, you can't acknowledge it. Sort of as simple as that, isn't it? I mean, it's also worth mentioning that what is it? Willy Bomb also trying to go for the Capitals last semifinal. Ducks doing it in this one. I envision a world where both players are constantly attacking the Capitals over and over and over again. I'm excited for that. But there we go. It is now 1-1. The players are ready to get going in that very, very fast turnaround. It's what it takes all now. It's essentially a best of one.
Like, I don't see Yeti getting tilted. Like, I was wondering about like what Ducks' mentality would be from the last game, but like he's got to be feeling ecstatic.
Oh, that's got to be so good. That's got to be so good. Everything's sort of lined up. Now, it does go to the final game. The winner of this game will challenge Willibomb in the final. We are going to be getting going any second now. Will it be the reigning, defending champion of Yeti Peaks or the up-and-comer, the disruptive force that is Ducks?
I mean, I know which Willibomb would prefer, maybe. Well, maybe I don't. I'll have to ask him. But, yeah, we're seeing a very interesting start. Running straight towards the center. This, like, a lighthouse spawn idea again. Much less common in general games than what we saw here. I feel like it's been every game that we've seen that lighthouse start. And every time the players have gone for it, like, take that extra population. So, I'm kind of interested that Yeti didn't opt into forestry there. He's trying to keep all of his forests around. Like, very conservative play from Yeti, very economic. So Ducks can go hunting and forestry, and will he chop everything away?
Find out.
Or is he just going to... He does... Ooh! Okay.
Was that a misclick, you think?
I'm holding my breath. I think that might be for a warrior on his capital to... No?
I think it was a misclick. Oh, well. Yeti's figured out where Ducks is. Hello.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, just since both players have crossed that score threshold, I mean, it's really conservative again. We're seeing Yeti with the, like, workshop instead of explorer there.
Started to chop now.
Riding, too. Wow.
I think he's going to try and do the exact same thing. I think...
We're seeing an explore here.
All right.
So I guess that was the idea behind the chop, is that he's using the expensive lumber hut for upgrade instead of going straight for his capital.
Fair enough. Not a misclick then. Well played. Once again, so close. I mean, those borders are... They're neighbors. You know what I mean? That's incredibly close. So come on. You have to think Yeti is going to be wary, and so is Ducks in this case, going to be wary of the sort of the initial conflicts and what that can mean if you do misplay it. And I think we're going to see sort of an earlier military build-up here from both players. Another one of them looking to get the capital snipe for sure.
Yeah, and we're trying to see, like, Yeti's plan here is to play really aggressively, like with his Mindbender. The problem for him is that he is in range of both of these warriors here. I think this does grant him the ruin, but he's going to end up losing his Mindbender. His other play is that he can run his Mindbender back northeast of the city, and if these two warriors team up against the rider on the ruin, he goes ahead and picks up the conversion. So he's taunting Ducks. Yeah, Ducks is going to go ahead and kill the Mindbender, heal his own, but that gets Yeti Peaks both the village and the ruin here. Using that, you know, quick initiative in the early game to his advantage. We might see another chop down here as well. Yeah, to pick up a rider. Yep, play as aggressively as you can. Okay, so is the ruin worth it? If it's a veterans... Stars! That's worth it! That's worth the Mindbender.
Well done.
Yeah, he's got roads now, another 14 stars after the roads too.
It's a chaotic clash between these two, huh?
No, they're brawling, slugging at each other. Gonna see some... yeah, there's a question of technique here. He wants to go after the Explorer first, because if this Explorer picks up a lighthouse, then he doesn't need to spend any stars. But it's blocked off by mountains. Would have loved to see that go south. But ending on 5 stars, so you're gonna see like a warrior and warrior, rider on capital. Surely there's a rider on capital. Mindbender on capital.
Oh my god.
Okay, he's trying to set up that little heal station. Put the Mindbender up front, the riders take some damage, and then just heal it off to the Mindbender.
It's such a different game to the first one, this, huh? These last two. It's like they saw the last one and went, wait a second, we can just fight, let's do it.
It's, you got like two like trained Muay Thai fighters. They get them like very drunk and then just go at it. Like just brawl. Just like start slugging at each other.
Let's do it.
Yeah, how does Yeti's just gonna be spamming out the units here, and it feels like it's he's got his foot on the gas pedal here. He's got his finger on the pulse of the game. He knows what he's doing. He's in control. He's up a village. He's got roads, which Dux does not have yet. He's just spent the 5 stars from the Star Rune, like half of it, to get his own Mindbender back, the one he sacrificed for the rune in the first place. Like he's gonna go ahead and pick up these other couple villages up north and then just run everything down south, or he might just play more aggressively. Like just play a little waiting game for the village up north, so I'll pick them up eventually. I mean, there's no reason not to pick up the village of his warrior. The warrior's not getting integrated into the game anytime soon. And no siege there. As soon as this Mindbender goes, though, he goes like, I don't see how Dux keeps the second city.
No, I think you're right. I think this could be... Oh, hello. A little bit of a heal. He's got to do something dramatic here. Okay.
Yeah, keeping his Mindbender as defended as possible here, but when that warrior disappears... I mean, the Mindbender is hiding, ducking behind the forest there, hoping the riders can't reach. But I think they'll attack from the city tile itself.
I think you're correct.
I think the warrior, the Mindbender, and the rider might die on this next turn.
And if that happens, you have to think, where does Dux go? Right now, he has to sort of do a bit of a fighting retreat to give him enough time to capture a couple of cities, get himself set, and get going. But I'm struggling to see at this point, what can he do? Let's find out.
You got a ruin there, so you
never know. That's what I'm saying. You never know. It's an interesting map, this one. Very interesting map. Let's find out. Now, remember, you can be watching this kind of gameplay live in Stockholm for the Grand Finals, so make sure to grab your tickets today. Both of us were at the finals last year, and I tell you what, it was one of the best esports events I've ever gone to.
Absolutely electric. You could feel the tension in the air.
Good, people were yelling constantly. It was a lot of fun. Right.
It's like I never knew that Polytopia could be played like someone getting a ruin and then like feeling it in the room.
And then the
like
crowd
that.
goes absolutely wild. It was crazy. A capital siege in that final, in the final, with Arthur versus Slim Boy, and they go, oh.
The audible gasps, yes.
Fantastic. Well, let's see. Yeti, 2 minutes and 40 on the clock. How can he get it done? Can he get it done? Maybe we're misjudging something here, but that's a lot of forces that are lined up. What do you think? What should he do?
I mean, he's used all of his stars, so it's just a question of, like the actual units. Like how he wants to attack, like which units he's going to kill. And there's a pretty simple way to think about this. You use the units that are far away in the back first. The ones that you're, like, not bringing into the game otherwise. Like, he's, chopping more to get this warrior into the game. Yep. So he's going to use the warrior to help him out in sieging this city. He cannot siege with the warrior because that's the tile he needs his riders to be on to go after this Mindbender. And he's got exactly enough to take out this city and then also kill this Mindbender. Got a veteran rider. Gonna keep that in the back. Surprise tool to help us later, as it were.
I don't think it's gonna be much of a surprise, considering it got veterancy by murdering the troops of Dux here. Yeah, it doesn't look like he can do much harm to that city. Let's see, what can he do next turn, though?
Well, the problem is he's also losing his capital to a veteran siege on the turn after. Gonna do some more chops, just pick up another warrior? Or does he doesn't have any more chops for a rider, so... I don't know what the use the warrior is, but... Like, he likes to hang out, I guess. He's invited.
He can turn up.
He likes to feel wanted.
Alright, let's see.
So we've got enough units to The worst, the best defensive unit Ducks can train.
There it is.
Yeah, he's just gonna
There
resign.
it is. Another quick game.
Swing.
And there we
goodness.
go. It looks to me like we have our final. We have Yeti Peaks versus Willy Bomb in the final. Those two games were very different to the first one, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but quarterfinals being as long as they were, these being as short as they were, are we in for 3-hour-long games? Go to the buzzer.
It's either going to be 3 hours, all of an hour long in the final, or they're all going to be 3 minutes apiece. I mean, I tell you what, but that's the great thing about Polytopia. You're never sure what you're going to get. Fast-paced action, slow, methodical thinking. What you are going to get is a good time. I can guarantee you that. So, Yeti Peaks versus Willy Bomb. How do you think that goes down?
Oh my goodness. Yeti, they're both very versatile players. That's what IMO requires of you.
Absolutely.
So really, it's down to the maps. That's what we've seen so far. The players are doing whatever they're given.
Yeah.
They're creative, they're crafty, resourceful. But we have seen some things, some tendencies, like Willabomb playing aggressively.
Yeah.
Yeti Peaks, he's tactically precise. So who knows, really?
Well, it's been a little bit of an interesting one. A little interesting journey for Yeti Peaks all the way to the final. Defeating very strong competition, having to bounce back from, not a slog of a first game, but definitely a bit of an attritional one. And then immediately the second game, a very quick loss. So he can do it all. Like you said, versatility is the name of the game against IMO, and both of these players have shown that to be a trait that they themselves possess. So the final is going to be taking place very, very shortly here. I think I'm favoring Willabomb on this one. I think he's got the experience in the other semifinals. He's been playing a good game. I know you think it's going to be Yeti Peaks, but I think you're wrong.
I mean, I think you've got good reason to say that. Yeti Peaks bled. Willabomb had a very clean series. And, not only that, the reason that Yeti Peaks lost that game, it feels like it was avoidable. There were things he could have done differently there. But have we seen those kinds of mistakes from Willabomb? I'm still getting it to Yeti, though.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We are going to have a quick break here, chaps, and then we're going to see the grand final. Who is going to represent the IMO tribe? It's all going to come to head just after this.
Okay, we have to talk about it. He claims his crown like flames, living wood. Okay, we have to talk about it. He claimed this call like flames, living boys. August 1,
Hello and everyone, and welcome back to the finals of the AI-MO qualifiers. We have Willabomb versus Yeti Peaks. You think Yeti Peaks is going to win? I think Willabomb is. Yeti Peaks could be the first tribal chief, first, whatever you want to call them, king to retain their crown. What do you think of that? Is he the most likely to? I mean, look at this bracket right here. He's had to fight his way through, not coming through unscathed in any of the brackets, but yet he is here proving how good he is at playing as AI-MO. What do you think of that?
I mean, he's certainly the closest, right? We saw some other things like Mixu and Yadak earlier, but he didn't make it past the quarterfinals even.
He didn't.
I mean, if anything else, like maybe we'll see like world champion King Arthur return for Imperius later on.
You might do.
But,
Again, it could be an all-new lineup. Now, just to remind you, this is the AI-MO tribe. Just before we get going, give us a quick 10-second. What are these guys' strengths, weaknesses? What have our players been showing today?
AI-MO's the most versatile tribe in the game, like bar none. They have access to, you know, early aggression, really tactical stuff with like low income. They have access to, you know, developing their economy, pushing out giants really early. It all depends on the map, what the map gives you and how you react to it. So they're one of the strongest, but also one of the most testing tribes. Very difficult to play. This gives an interesting, unique game.
We have had a different game every single time we've been playing. The grand final, of course, is a best of 3. We're going to get going in just a second here. So we're going to see at least 2 matches from these two juggernauts. Willabomb versus Yeti Peaks. Who will draw first blood? And will they sweep their opponent? These are all questions we're going to answer right now. Let's get going.
Right, and we have love of my life, Willabomb, down in the south.
Love of your life.
Yeah, I mean, there we were last night watching Ratatouille. Willabomb said the tournament starts at 6 a.m. for me. Maybe I'll just stay up all night watching Ratatouille. Not sure.
An interesting way to start.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, look at the how far it's gotten him. So maybe there's
Very
something
true.
to it.
He didn't do that last time in the
also-
tournament, did he? So, hey, maybe this will be the one. Now, take me through these starting ones. These starting locations.
Yeah, so we're going for hunting again. I mean, just look at the number of animals they have, and really, it's look at Willabomb and the number of animals he has. My goodness. Of course, like the very like key thing that you're looking for is how many animals they're starting out with. Do they have the animals to get to level 2 on both of their cities? Yes. But also, like checking out his capital, and later on, wonder if we're going to see an explorer here. He went aggressively after that, but looking at Yeti's score, like not quite past that 1,000 point threshold where he'd trade 5 stars instead of 3. Also, not the best setup explorer, so we're going to take a workshop instead, playing very greedily, which is something you can do when you have a start like this. But I'm also wondering, why is he chopping all of his forests away to play greed? Yeti, on the other hand, does not have as many forests, doesn't have the crazy like sawmill spots. So his chops, I understand much more.
His chops, I understand.
Wow. Yeah, it was headed straight north, but blocked by these mountains and redirected. Went every direction, like went a long way, but didn't get all too much vision. So, seeing the level 3 upgrade on the capital, and we're just gonna take that extra couple of stars over our opponent here. Nice to see, yeah, climbing picked up for the ruin and also some vision to the west. Should be safe to pick up that ruin unless we're gonna see maybe a rider from, yeah, no rider. So Willibomb is safe to step on there, but it depends on how confident he is in his ability. The veteran swordsman way, way in the back.
It's going to take him a long time to get to any sort of front line here. He'll make it eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, so Willibomb's like play to get the ruin safely is to just step on it, but he's going to let Yeti step on it and then convert his unit, looks like.
So
he's already buying climbing.
Whose reins would you rather take at this point? Who would you rather be in, Willibomb's shoes or Yeti?
I like Willibomb's position for the tactics and the early economic advantage he's accrued. But if you're looking at Yeti's position, look at the villages that he has yet to capture there. We're not seeing those, you know, 3rd and 4th cities for Willibomb yet. And also, it's difficult to launch an aggressive attack. Like, I mean, Willibomb's going after the riders. It looks like that's what he's angling at. But like, where is the attack going? Like, he's gonna have an easier time picking up that village, like competing for that village anyways. I don't know if I'll actually be able to pick it up, just considering how far away it is from him. He doesn't seem to have the village prospects that Yeti does. I do still like Willibomb's position better, but very even, if asymmetrical. We gotta see what's from the ruin, though. If he gets another veteran swordsman that's actually really close to the capital combined with these riders, it could be very different. Yeti Peaks can't be happy about losing that ruin. Got the Mindbender up in a very aggressive spot, too, to go ahead and heal off any damage that his riders might take.
Well, we've seen aggressive Mindbenders they've been the order of the day today. They've been very definitive one way or another.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. Like, this is not how Mindbenders are supposed to be used. But
and yet,
the players aren't interested in, you know, what's supposed to happen. They're interested in winning, so...
You said that. Do you think Yeti's kind of maybe a little bit nervous seeing the amount of troops outside his home?
Yeah, because these... I mean, I was giving it to him as an advantage. A Star Road, oh my goodness.
Nice. Star
okay.
Now, I also want to point out that Willibomb, well, now he does, didn't know that he was there. Am I correct in saying that?
He didn't see everything that
that's what
Yeti
I mean.
Had. Yeah, and we're gonna see the Mindbender healing in action. It feels like, perhaps. Either he heals his Mindbender this turn, and he did it manually instead of the automatic by ending turn. Probably because he was considering healing, but I think what's going to happen is he heals Mindbender this turn, and then uses the heal option to get his rider to 9 health on the next turn. But picking up organization to get this first giant. Getting the rider too, of course. I was assuming that there would have been a play with roads instead, but I think he was a few stars short of getting the rider as well as the road giant there. So Yeti's going to retreat back up to where he hopefully is not going to get his warrior killed as easily anyways. I think Willibomb still goes after roads on the next turn. Like, he banked 9 stars,
yeah,
so...
had to be, right?
Yeah, some roads, some early aggression. If he can steal that central village, and, like, you know, he also rode his giant into the mix. Especially with the, like, Mindbender so far out of the way, over capturing that village in the east. then some roads to expand out to the east, maybe take an explorer there, get his swordsman into the game too. There's a lot of stuff that he wants to do with roads, and he has stars, and I'm not seeing what else he wants to do, so I'd be very surprised if he doesn't pick up roads before this village capture.
Is it bad that I wanted to do something else just to spite you?
I don't think it's bad at all. Okay. Okay.
Ha!
Well, maybe it's bad because I do die as a result of this, but
Oh,
big border growth.
what a growth there. Okay.
Yeah, stealing everything. Just picking up another giant. Does he pick up an explorer over in the east here, or just another rider up front? Looks like an explorer.
It's a big difference in
It's a
income,
workshop.
isn't it?
I'll get. Okay. Okay.
15 to 8.
I'm getting rage baited.
Didn't you really call it rage bait when you were a caster? Player didn't play as I would have.
I mean, I did.
This is true. No, you're correct. There you go. Another kill, 2 to 1. Now, just look at that. 10 units to 6, 3 cities to 2, 15 stars per turn to 8. We have to see something here from Yeti Peaks. Remember, he is the reigning defending champion, so if there's anyone that can pull out an upset, it will be the AI-MO Chief here.
Yeah, so I think Yeti's got some things working for him in favor of the, like in terms of the tactics. Like, look at the mountains, the defense bonus he gets there. If he can keep his units like back there, like where it's inconvenient for Wilbom to kill, and they just keep doing this tit for tat. You get 1 unit of mine, I get 1 unit of yours, thing that they've got going on. Yeti is fine with that. Gives some time to. He's like his units are cheaper too. Like he's using warriors, Wilbom is using riders. So he's gonna spend fewer stars and just pick up the same number of kills while he gets his economy going. Gets his own giant. Like after the he equalized the city count there and picked up that last village, the income disparity like closed a little bit too. After he gets a couple giants, like this is not like a long term like something for Willibom to be or Yeti Peaks to be worried about here. What he might want to be worried about, though, is these 2 approaching giants, which I feel could have approached faster with roads, but I'm not the one playing right now.
No, you're not. Let's. Right, so he's got that ruin over in the east. Let's see if what he gets out of that. Another star would be great. Right, a little bit of an attack here, bouncing back.
Oh,
Heal station activated. Oh, boring a little bit. There we go. Right in.
going after some greedy vision is gonna get his rider attacked by this warrior. Looks like, but no, Yeti keeps his eye on the prize. He's like, I'm not going after some damage on a rider. I'm going after trying to win the game. Actually, I need villages.
Yeah, the smart thing to do, trying to win the game in a competition. Who knew?
Yeah, it's like a keys jingling, like squirrel stuff with seeing the rider bounce in there and then forgetting immediately that no, there's a village to capture. No, it's actually much more important that it does that. Yeah, Yeti not able to go tit for tat after all the riders retreat. So some nice moves here. Doesn't need roads with the rider where it is, but picks him up to get these giants going in the game anyways. Picks up a nice 4th city over in the east. Like Wilbom's gonna try to take this central village. He took a few of the resources with that border growth, but like 4 fruits, like a road connection, like forest he's got there. He's got mining too. So plenty of plenty to work with there. Could even giant with a monument. Depends on how he wants to get that though. Seeing potential for like Grand Bazaar. There's a few villages he can grab, but he needs to pick up another rider down south if he wants to pick that up early. And just healing his rider, that's so close to Yeti. Not worried about what Yeti might do at all. We're gonna see Smithford from Yeti. This is his goal, like try to pick up his own giant. He's got forestry. Yeah. So you can go ahead and pick up border growth here. Because he's not picking up that central city and he wants to steal that very nice, very well placed mine. But Wilbom's rider is blocking it. There weren't Yeti didn't have the stars for it. Maybe he could have chopped to pick it up that turn. But with the rider blocking, there's nothing to be done about it for Yeti. Depends on how Willibom wants it. A Star Ruin. Okay, that's how you want to start things off.
I did call it. Can I just say? Expert cast me seeing the future.
Yeah, I think Willibom might want to drop his giant on the mine here just to prevent... He can get the ruin too. Okay, very funny. It might drop the one giant on the mine to block Yeti from doing anything with that. The other giant definitely goes on the city. He's letting his veteran swordsman approach the one from way back in the day, way earlier. Finally getting close to Yeti's capital and becoming a serious problem. Where does this one giant want to go? He might go all in on some kind of capital attack. He might be worried about some mindbender shenanigans. He might try to block. Yeah, he's going all in on the capital.
Here we go.
He is playing aggressively.
I mean, did we expect anything else from Willibom? An uncharacteristic, slow first game from him. Only to be oh, there it is.
And there we go. Yeah.
Willibom wins
too much.
the first game in short fashion. My God, these games are getting quicker and quicker. I'm telling you now. We have less and less of a job to do. Fantastic stuff. Go on. What's your perspective on this?
My perspective is that this changes things like immediately. Like, who do I favor to win? Like Willibom. Like, he's got one game down. He only needs one more. I mean, he only needs to win one game, yet he needs to win 2 games. What's more likely to happen?
The disrespect. Now, if Yeti comes for a reverse sweep, you're in trouble, sir. You're in a lot of trouble. There we go. Willibom looking to continue the trend of no defending tribe chief managing to keep hold of their position. It could be Willibom after failing in the semifinals previously, having failed in the quarterfinals last week, to go and finally make it all the way to, I guess, what would you call it? The Thrike? He was probably the throne. Tribal chase? Yeah, we'll call it the face-off. There you go. I need more like tribal vocabulary in my repertoire. Now, let's not forget this is, of course, a best of 3, and a reverse sweep has been the most likely outcome out of any in all of these qualifiers. We've only had 1 2-0, and that happened last week. So, statistically speaking, it's all up in the air. What I do know for certain, though, is we are going to see another game, and you're now switching to Willibom being the favorite. Of course, he only has to play 1 more, but I'm just saying, some call that mercenary behavior.
I'm fine with it, you know? I call it pragmatism, you know? I don't have favorites. Well, I do have favorites, right? I definitely have favorites.
Look.
And I have people that I think are most likely to win. So, like, if I think Willibom's most likely to win, I'm going to say Willibom's most likely to take the whole series at this point.
I admire what you call pragmatism. I call faithlessness. But still, talk me through that game from like a holistic point of view. Did it play out how you thought it would be, having seen the map? Or were there a couple of surprises here and there?
It was interesting watching how Willibom did it, because he made it work perfectly for him. Like, the way he looked at his initial start and saw everything that he had. The really big things, the key decisions are, 1, he decided to pick up a workshop on that second city when a lot of players would just go for an explorer.
Yes.
Feel like it's their only chance to get vision. He's like, I see the mountains up there. I'm going to put my mind bender up there, and that's all the vision I'm going to need. And he made that work for him.
He did. A relentless push on the capital, like you were saying. I think that's ultimately what did it. Yeti refusing to take the bait, but it's not enough.
Yeti tried to, shore up, like back up, but he backed up too far. Maybe he could have played on too, but he recognized the position he was in. He didn't see the long term.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you've seen the value of being in a losing position, of thinking I'm not going to win this and bowing out instead of playing it to its conclusion, because you can get fatigued. It does sort of drain you mentally to play these games, right? That you're going to lose eventually, right? Ramdingler was one that did this and stretched it out all the way to the judge's decision. So it's kind of, having said that, on the flip side, you might think, okay, I know you're going to lose this. I know I'm going to lose this game. I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to make it horrible for you to win this game, because you know for a second that if your mind switches off, I'm there. Which again also has its merit. So when it comes to these sort of competitions, it's not just about who is mechanically better. I mean, you were saying what you consider to be the greatest of all time popped up out of nowhere. to participate in the qualifiers last year and got battered by Oplix, who was a very good player in their own right. Doesn't exactly have accolades to their name, like for example someone like Meisterlamp. You know, so it does change when you're in front of the camera. It does change when you're expected to perform under the bright lights. I mean, we've had what, 1,200, 1,100 players play just this qualifier, and it's worth shouting out that if you think you can do better than our players, you are absolutely welcome to try. The Quetzali tribe is coming up next week, and the qualifiers are open, as well as all the tribes that we haven't tested yet. I mean, you're claiming to not be Justini, but you said that Hoodrick's your favorite, right?
Yeah, that's why I like Hoodrick. I back him in the tournament. I want to see him go far.
Okay, right. Is that because you're going to be playing as them?
If Justini makes it as Hoodrick, like...
If Justini makes it as Hoodrick, then there's more than just suspicion there. I'm excited to see some Omaji gameplay. But let's have a brief chat as we're about to get going for this next one. What do you think of the next week's tribe? Quetzali.
Quetzali?
Yeah.
Yeah, Quetzali is very similar to AI-MO in a lot of ways. You can like kind of group them together as let's call them the mountain tribes, the ones that you might see go for smithery mining stuff much more than the others. You'd group Vengir in there as well, but it's really the core of AI-MO, Quetzali, and Jinji. And they all made it a little further than some of the other tribes.
They did.
The first 3 qualifiers only lost both their rounds in the face-offs.
Well, this could
These
be the
guys,
final AI-MO
economic.
game if Willibom does go 2-0 and gets the sweep. But ladies and gentlemen, the second game of the best of three, potentially the final game of the final, begins now. Take me through what you're seeing here.
Lots of water. Everywhere water, but no water access. I mean, Yeti's got it up to the north, but it doesn't look like it's water access that he really wants. It doesn't connect to anything else. And if you look at the shorelines on Willibom's perspective, there's little lighter tiled sides that reveal some land tiles further on there. It's just kind of cutting them off. It's just more inconvenient than anything. There's potential for bridges here. I know a lot of people are big fans of bridges. I think eSpark might be doing a little dance right now thinking about that. But it's going to be interesting how this plays out tactically, who gets what village. Like, there's going to be conflict immediately for the southwest one, even if Willibom is able to capture it immediately. Yeah, Yeti Peaks is not going after the further south one, takes this like only really sensible village down there, and he's going to be the one in control of those bridge spots after he captures this city too. Takes them into his city borders. So yeah, question here is if he picks up forestry. No forestry this time. Oh goodness, there's just too much going on in the opening.
I can hear you actively getting flustered.
There's actually a big fight. Willibom, he's got a difficult game ahead of him.
Yes.
Like he's hemmed in, and normally like you're surrounded by a bunch of water. Like whatever, you go for the water. But it's not like there's a giant big lake in the middle for him to take or anything.
Yeah.
It's just hemming him in right now. The water is, double-edged sword, of course. Like, it's keeping Yeti away from him as well. And the villages aren't really opening up to Yeti either. These are all villages that it feels like Willibom should be able to take. But he has to be working on getting his expansion down faster. I think we have to see some riders from Willibom, if not now, in the near future. Maybe he'll pick up forestry right now and then go into riding after. Just to pick it up while it's cheap. Climbing instead. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, he sees the number of it's really. I think it's motivated by that village he has in the west.
Yeah, I think so. I think he thinks he's going to try and step around this sort of lake because obviously he doesn't know, like you said, the extent to which there is land or isn't land nearby. So he's got a lot of decisions, and frankly, it's a fateful one. When you're in these sorts of moments, it does make things. Oh, forestry as well. It does make things tricky because you kind of have to play perfectly. A lot of people say Polytopia, there's a degree of RNG, and of course that is a big part of the game. But play long enough, and you'll have to deal with good RNG and bad RNG. And it's the better players that can turn a losing position into a winning one. So let's see what Willibom can do here.
Yeah,
I mean, I really like the play that he just made. He got climbing, was able to step on the mountain. He saw the city borders, and he knew that he would get stars traded to him if he went ahead and stepped on that mountain like that. So he picks up the star trade, and he's going to keep his own score just under that 2,000 point threshold too. Trade as few stars as possible if Yeti Peaks wants to pick up an explorer on this city. But use those stars to pick up forestry instead of just going straight into forestry. The only, like, cost, not to say it was a bad play at all. It was, I think, the best play. But the only problem is that that warrior isn't headed towards the center of the map. And Willibom took a few detours. He took a detour to the lighthouse with his mindbender. He didn't send any units straight towards the southeast at the beginning of the game. And now he's just letting those villages, like, kind of waste away there. And it's not just like this one village that he's picking up a little bit later. It's that he slingshots off of that village to pick up everything in the east. And I think he's giving Yeti an easier time accessing some of that eastern part of the map with how he's opened this game. Maybe he'll do something to speed it up, but I'm seeing a lot of conservatism in the way he plays, like not riders, like just with getting climbing and forestry there. So maybe he'll speed it up, maybe he won't. Will it cost him is the question. It's unclear. Yeti Peaks for his own is going after some fishing. So he takes up a nice explorer that runs backwards to that awkward to grab West Lighthouse.
I am enjoying the
Sees
fact
the
that
nature of
every
the lake.
time that one of the players does something, you have a tendency to be very surprised.
I mean, I'm shocked at everything. No. No, it's just that that's the thing about AI-MO. Like, they're
Archery.
so...
I'm doing
Like,
the same thing
anything
as
is
you now.
Yeah. I really like the archers here. Like, he'd assembled a ton of warriors around this village. Yeah, Yeti sees the defense bonus on the forest, and he knows that he's in trouble.
Very nice,
if
though.
he
I do like that.
Yeah, he has to go after that attack, even though it's not a great damage trade for him, since it lets his own warrior get killed on the next turn, and he's not even able to finish off Willibom's warrior here.
Well, so far,
Gives
Willibom
him a
with 2
6 health
kills,
on
the
defense
Yeti
bonus.
0 gets his own archery.
Yes, that's gonna help protect his warrior up by his capital, keep it on the forest. Yeah, the question I have is, does he save his city? Like, he has to train an archer on his capital.
Yeah, he does that. Another warrior, okay.
So he's shutting down Willibom's attack.
Which he had to do. I mean, Willibom had to poke to stop Yeti from going too far. But you have to think, is Willibom committing too much when he should be poking a little bit less? Oh, he is going for it. Well done.
Because he's got the nice siege.
Nice sequence of events there. Obviously, he doesn't know about the archer in the background, but I would say he has to try and disrupt Yeti as much as possible to try and expand himself. I mean, this is for turn 7 at least, it's a very small amount of vision he's got.
Yeah, but that was a huge blunder from Yeti to attack that warrior that was about to become a veteran like that. And, like, not only that, but to, like, train your own warrior on the city, you know, that there's, like, the archer in range, that you're giving him the veteran like that. So he's got a 5 health, 2 health warrior in range, an archer. I can't remember if he trained another archer. No, he's got the other warrior. So he is able to get the unsiege here, but it's a just barely thing, and it's going to give Willibom a ton of space, like, to maneuver his archers around here. Like, easy attacks for him. Like, he can pick up another siege if he wants as well. So Willibom, yeah, taking the king's share of this opening right now.
Well, he's doing a lot with what he's got, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the number of cities he's equalizing there, and he's really taking away, like, the early aggression, like, whatever potential Willibom had. Or, sorry, Yeti had. I think this problem is still in the east corner. Like, there's the village that Yeti Peaks is stepping on with his warrior right now. That's a different exploration pattern. Like, Willibom would have kept him off of there. He is picking up riding now. He does
Riding and roads.
And roads.
Here we go.
Wow,
I mean, you were
nice.
saying this a couple turns ago.
Yeah, I think this was necessary, like at some point. I think it was a little delayed, but and not on the capital. A capital rider would have been for expansion and trying to. Oh, he's gonna chop to get another one on the capital too. Does he? It could be anywhere. Where this? What's the shops for? On the South City. Okay. I'm interested in that. I feel like that means he doesn't want to spend too many roads getting his rider into the game, and he wants to keep some population spots on his capital. So, yeah, Yeti's got a nice defense, a nice solid defense with these archers and the way the map is shaped. Like, the two forests are going to stop the riders from breaking through. But like what Willibom was gaining still wasn't the village. He was close to, but he didn't quite gain the village. What he really gained is space around the village. Like, Yeti's not free to operate his troops in his own territory right now. Which is not quite as good as a village, but you take what you can get. Oh, so, okay, he is putting the two roads down there, so I'm wondering what this rider in the south instead of a rider on the capital is doing. If he was that desperate to free up space around, population space around his capital. Yeah, his archers are in a good position right now, but Yeti's going to be able to break them up in not too long. He gets his own units to repel Willibom here. Wonder where that mine better wants to be. Yeah, he wants to expand fast, sending the roads out there. I feel like the rider needed to go on cap last turn, because it would have been east of that central city instead of southeast. But yeah, Yeti was setting up something. He's got a few targets with this raft. He was maybe hoping that Willibom wouldn't have climbing or any way to keep him off the village with the warrior there, but now that Willibom sent his rider onto the mountain, both players know he's got vision on the village. And Yeti, yeah, I have to train like another archer on his capital to prevent Willibom's rider from just stepping on that village. And this is vision that Willibom doesn't have. He does have a level 1 city, so I think we should expect an explorer to come there sometime soon. Just with the fact that he has roads now. He did chop the forest there, so he'll have to pick up some tech like mining or fishing. But both of them fit really nicely into his game plan. Whichever he wants to take. He is going to step straight on there.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Unfortunately, didn't pick up the vision beforehand. It's not going to give up the village to Yeti, but he is going to lose his rider.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing.
without
Willibom has sort of made a game right this time of having favorable traits. I mean, 6 kills to 3 kills is quite nifty. So, to sort of understate it. So that is losing that kind of advantage in a game where he does have an inherent disadvantage is going to be a tricky one. But so far, so good for Willibom.
Yeah. Does that? I mean, just in terms of like, who's putting pressure on who? Like, Willibom still has a space around Yeti's village.
Yep.
In the center down there. And he's pushing into the east. If he can pick up those few cities in the east as well, a few more, then he should be pretty nice, like into Grand Bazaar, into some kind of giant. He's got a lot of ways to develop his economy. I guess what I'm struggling to see is the big picture. Like, how does he start taking cities from Yeti here? Like, they're set up in, like, such a... I want to say interesting, but I feel like there's something more than just interesting here. The way the map is set up, it's really difficult for either player to launch an attack. And you can tell, because both players have been really trying to. The archers and everything keep things pretty defensive, though. Like, what city does Willibom target? It feels like the one in the southeast, but he doesn't, like, manage to launch an attack until at least he captures the village further in the east, which should be Yeti should put into contest
Yeah.
to begin with. So it feels like we're a long way out from the fireworks of this game. By any means.
Well, 25 seconds left. Let's have a look to see what Willibom does. He's thinking hard.
We're going to see a lot of slow improving moves in the immediate future.
Mm-hmm.
He is getting a lot of riders, though. So he's keeping the potential alive for an attack. He's not letting Yeti get lazy
The
ever.
timer runs out for him. We might be having some issues there. We'll see. So what do you think Yeti needs to do?
Well, Yeti's got... he has his own expansion that he needs to focus on. Again, the village in the east is under contest. Like, depends on who's able to pick that up. Yeti doesn't have roads, so he wants to pick those up. Like, he needs riders for that too. There's a lot of stuff like that, and I mean the big thing is that he's got a ton of level 2 cities. Like, it's, you know, just economically optimal. You want to get those cities upgraded to level 3 as possible.
Just want to clarify for people watching right now, the game between Willibom and Yeti Peaks is still ongoing. They don't have any connection issues. They are absolutely fine. We just need to make sure we refresh our POV and we'll be good to go. So the game is still ongoing, and frankly, that was quite a fun point last week. Looking on the bright side, because then it suddenly went from, you know, turn 10 to, like, you know, turn 13, and we're getting a little bit of action that we might not have anticipated. So give me my prediction. When we come back to them ongoing, what would you have expected to happen, and what needs to happen for there to be a resolution here?
The big things that I'm seeing are in the west. Yeti is 100% using his archers to kick Willibom off. Willibom's moved his units from controlling the center to pushing east. He doesn't have any immediate attack with that, though. So I think Yeti might try to regain some space there. He might even try to drop a unit into the port and capture that village over in the west. Although I doubt Willibom will allow that. I hope Willibom will take an explorer on that Dito city, maybe pick up fishing to do it, or mining. Whatever helps him giant best. Problem is, he's got some...
Like I said, we're just going to rejoin the game real quick. The Willibom and Yeti Peaks are currently still playing. We're going to be right back to the action in any given moment. I want to see if any of your predictions are correct here. We'll see. You're about this could be a fraud check. I'm not going to lie. This is big for you. Let's find out. Take me through it.
Yeah, so mining picked up. There is contest. Riding. He did kick him off the village. He'll miss a couple turns.
Yeah, 2 turns.
Yeah, some roads. That sword getting closer in.
9 kills to 7. I mean, it looks like that village out in the west is firmly defended by that archer. We'll play for Yeti Peaks to keep that sort of protection going. But it does feel, to me at least, looking at what we have now, the court is very much in Yeti Peaks', the ball is very much in Yeti Peaks' court.
Yeah, I wonder what the ruin that warrior picked up was. It might have been population, because where was the population for this giant without that? But, might see an explorer here? Yep. Nice explorer picks up the, really importantly, like the lighthouse, of course, but also just the village, and sees exactly what Yeti Peaks might be doing to try to get that. Willibom's advantage is that he's got roads, so no issues there. And confirm ruin was population. Okay, let's go. I gotta keep my job and my life.
No.
So really nice. We need to see like Willibom mobilize and push further east here with his units. I think what Willibom would love to do is drop that veteran swordsman into the action, but the mindbender is preventing that. Could pick up like a some 2-road thing, like archer and swordsman. The swordsman would protect the archer as it gets closer, control space. Right now he's just waiting for Yeti to step on that village, and then he'll pick him off, bounce onto the ruin. What else? How does he want to use his archer? Does he pull it back?
Just want to add some clarification. The ruin was, in fact, population.
Yes, sir. Okay, nice veteran archer that he's willing to get killed here.
Great way to phrase that. Look, sacrifices have to be made, all right? You wouldn't understand.
You're right on that. So this warrior might be re-angling to step on that village in the west again here. Otherwise, if Willowbomb's able to keep him off it, or Yeti, bigger Yeti fears that he might be able to keep him off of it, probably see him step on that North ruin as well. It's a very classy choice of ruin in the last case anyways, that able to get him straight back into the port. The North ruin not really allowing that. So we can pick up some roads from Yeti, and yeah, Yeti's smart. He sees what's going on in the east. He sees Willowbomb walking away from the village, and he's like, yeah, you have vision. You see the lighthouse. You know everything. Not going to give up that village so easily, just going to keep the tension, keep it under contest right away. Some road connections into potential for another giant down there, like, you know, North Lighthouse as well. He gets the village and able to pick up that unclaimed village in the west and the South Lighthouse, yet he's got another monument for him. I guess speaking of monuments, both players, Willowbomb has his killer monument but hasn't placed it, and Yeti Peaks seems to be just next one turn away from picking up his own killer monument. So how they want to use those? Really, it could go anywhere per choice. Nothing screamingly obvious. It'll be a very characteristic decision, whatever they choose. I mean, Willowbomb's delaying well, he didn't really have anywhere to put his killer monument, did he? Nowhere benefits from that repopulation with having 0 stars like he ended last turn on. Or at least the 1 star he ended last turn on. But he's got that decision to make now. Using his archers defensively, and yeah, keeping his warrior to police that village over in the west. Cannot allow that warrior to step on uncontested. But yeah, the problem is if that giant advances in, I don't know. I guess Yeti wouldn't want to. He does get him the village to advance the giant in and prevent this rider from, prevent this archer from taking advantage of the roads. But he loses so much giant health that it's hard to see Yeti going for a play that aggressive for a village that's unspectacular. Is he going to go for it? He steps on the village. Yeah, okay. No, what he does instead is he just shoots the archer. Much more simple. Keeps his own giant with the defense bonus. Oh, wow. Okay, an explorer is going to pick up that last lighthouse for him.
There you go.
Making this village capture all that much better.
There was another village just there all along.
Yeah. Send a rider back. Yeah, but as soon as Yeti picks up that village, he should take an explorer and get the last lighthouse for Eye of God I'm talking about. Seems like another village to grab. Easy enough to connect these and get your Grand Bazaar, so he's going to be playing with a lot of monuments very soon. But very soon isn't now. His principal concern is dealing with this veteran swordsman. He has his Mindbender helping protect his village, so no worries there. Got his Mindbender up in the north, protecting his archers too. So yeah, I mean, Yeti sees seems like he has his bases covered, really. The 2 Mindbenders. The swordsman can't kill any of those units without getting converted, so Willowbomb's not going to use it for anything. Keeping him really hemmed in while he just expands to his last 3 villages on the map. And the population for another giant on his capital. Yeti has... he's just going to keep the tension in the middle. Say, you can't advance there, and I'm fine with that. His big attack is going to be down this left half of the map. Down the southwest. Straight to Willowbomb's capital. We might,
Spirit and Chivalry, okay.
Yes, there you go. That's how you deal with the giant archer chains and defense by Mindbenders. Just chain all of them. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the stars to pick it up. I think maybe could have played with this more in mind. Skip training the rider in the south, and then gone after like a disband somewhere to train a knight this turn. Have the stars for that. And just having the knight, you know, being able to threaten that you have a knight.
is really most of the fight.
Ooh.
Oh, he's disbanding right in Yeti's vision. He knows that Yeti sees this. He doesn't care. But yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I was saying too. Like, it doesn't matter if the knight is going to be
Does get the
useful to
knight though
pick up
this
the
turn.
giant chain. It just needs to be there.
Yep.
So that your opponent can't like clump up their units like that.
Well, I mean, there is some opportunity here, and the knight is one of those units that can change a losing position into a winning one. So we'll have to see. Woolibom obviously does have 12 kills to Yeti's 9. He's going to have to extend that quite a lot further if he wants to make up this sort of difference here. What do you reckon? Do you think we're going to see a little bit of a knight chain go on?
I doubt it, because I'm absolutely positive that Yeti Peaks is picking up this village in the west and taking an explorer. So he will see the knight. And if he didn't see the knight, he saw the units getting disbanded. So he knows what's going on. Like, Yeti Peaks say a lot of things about him. Polytopia fool? No, can't say that one.
Well, I consider you thought he was going to lose this game.
I didn't think he was going to lose this game. I thought he was going to lose the series,
Well,
which is this game or the next one.
It can still happen. Of course, it can still happen. But that is, I mean,
I'm
that's
already talking about the next game.
well, it's an overwhelming force, isn't it? It is sort of tricky. What does Woolibom need to do to rebuff this, do you think? What does he need to happen?
Well,
what are the criteria? What does Yeti have to mess up, essentially, for him to do that?
Yeah, Yeti sees the knight. So the problem is, look at the units he's already moved over in the east. They are out of range of this knight, but imagine like Woolibom giant pushes, gets the knight closer into range, and then like, you know, picks up some big chain over on that east city, able to grab the city further east of that as well. It seems like, you know, I called it that Yeti's strategy seems to be pushing in the west while he keeps the tension in the east. The problem for him is if that tension, like, he isn't able to control it, and Woolibom breaks through over there. Like, if his only defense are these, like, you know, units that are, you know, that knights are able to chain through all of them, pick up kills on every single one of them, then Woolibom just has to get that once, and that's a huge swing in his favor. It looks like he's already, with his, you know, veteran swordsman, going for advantage and stealing this city over in the east that Yeti was maybe hoping there would be more contest over. The giants are tricky. We're seeing, yeah, the two monuments that we're talking about getting placed, and he's just using them for stars. He's not going after giants with them, not like positioning two of them together or anything like that. So, border growth here? One assumes? We're not seeing, like, you know, a giant either way, and it does control some of the tiles that make the knight annoying. But no border growth. Looking for some way to pick up a giant in the future. I'm actually amazed he doesn't have climbing. That's incredible. I was looking around and I'm like, no, there's no way that not a single one of his mountains has a mine. That's really crazy that turn 15 he still hasn't picked up climbing. I mean, it's going to be really cheap for him to pick it up regardless. But I was evaluating, like, where is he getting the last population on this city? And it seems like Smithery is in the cards, but how far away is that if you don't even have climbing yet? Woolibom getting, let's say, tickled over in the west.
Tickled, I think, when a city's on fire might be a little bit of an understatement. We're going to have to see how he responds here. And frankly, he doesn't have that long to do it. Only a minute. You have to think, is he teetering on the precipice of giving in? Who can speak to this man's mind? I mean, it's 20 units to 12. It's 26 stars to 17. He's got to do something here.
I mean, Woolibom is not the type of player to drag out a game. Ooh, there it is. Just like we were talking about.
Nice.
What if he giant pushes in, and picks up all these roads? He needs a couple more roads, though. Like, what's he disbanding? Like, I mean, one question's like, he's disbanding the giant?
What?
Okay, I think this is a very nice chain, though.
It's bold. It's incredibly bold. I like it. Disbanding a giant to get the stars required? Sir! Hello! Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. but he does resign.
Yeah, it's just a proof.
It's
It's just a proof of I could get the chain.
Nice. Well, I like
It's
it. I
not to help him
respect
win.
it. It is 1-1. He just wanted to do it. That'll be why he got rid of the giant there, chaps. We are going to game 3. Yeti Peaks showing yet again why he was the AI-MO's representative. These players are going to be going at it right after this little chat that we're going to have. What do you think of that game?
That was a beautiful game. That was like maybe my favorite of the games we've seen so far. Just like how back and forth it was. Like both players, you know, how they were playing around it, like what they did. Like just it just shows like the diversity of strategies that AI-MO offers and like the depth. Like just how many different things Willibom could have gone for there. I think Yeti Peaks, like he had many other strategies. I think he just selected like the route, like he just knew.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, he didn't. It's not like I couldn't see any mistakes really with Yeti Peak. These players are very, very close in sort of skill. It's 1-1 at this point. Are you gonna change your mind again?
Well, yeah. Now that it's 1-1, this is like a Monty Hall problem, right? Like they're gonna ask you, do you want to switch doors, and you always say yes. Because your chances went from 1 and 3 to 1 and 2.
Apart from it's not, these are human beings behind the doors.
There's a goat behind the door.
there's no goat in these doors. Right.
No.
Like we said, these players are going to be playing the final game. We've gone all the way to our little grand final here. You now think it's Yeti Peaks. I've been staying with Willibom the entire time. Will it be the incumbent? Will it be the usurper? I think is a good term. If we're going for like royalty, I think that that kind of works. And of course, the question remains, will the AI-MO tribe go all the way? Because the Yeti Peaks played as the AI-MO tribe before, did not make it to the grand final in Stockholm. Was one of the tribes to fall. So only 8 tribes are going all the way. The AI-MO might be one of them. What do you think AI-MO's chances are of getting to Sweden?
I mean, if you look at what happened last year, right? Like he took it all the way to the second round. And he had a very tight series against one of the favorite tribes, one of the favorite players, Meisterlamp with Luxador to win. So there's absolutely no shame in like having a series like that, but you got this close. Yeah, I think he has like the chances like that you saw with a tribe like Jin. I think they're really comparable in a lot of ways. It really depends on who he gets matched up against as AI-MO.
So who do you think, having seen the games, will represent the AI-MO better, Yeti Peaks or Willibom?
Ooh, that one's really tough. I feel we've really what you get with AI-MO, what makes them so unique and like what they're strongest at is what they can do, like how diverse they are in all the different strategies. And I feel we've seen, you know, the greater ability to pull out that diversity from Yeti Peaks. I'd love to see Willibom go for like a super aggressive tribe somewhere else in the tournament maybe. But I have to say, pulling it back to Ratatouille, all comes back to Ratatouille. Willibom watched Ratatouille with me. Yeti Peaks did not. So I do have a favorite here.
Well, that's what I'm
I
trying
do
to
have some
say.
cards in the game. I think if Willibom is able to pull off the Ratatouille strategy against Yeti Peaks,
Can't call it strategy. The strategy is stay up all night watching movies. That's not a strategy.
it took him here. It took him all the way to the grand finals.
I mean,
He
yeah.
might represent the tribe 1-1.
Yes, it is
Against the
1-1.
incumbent.
A quick reminder of the journey so far. Majak goes 2-0 against Forlong, but then falls to Willibom, who himself beat TI in a 2-1 series. Then we had Viking the Cat versus Ducks. Let's not forget that Viking the Cat, a regular, frankly, in these sorts of final stages, I guess, of this sort of 1,200-man qualifier. Was late. Ducks goes 1-1. And, of course, then loses to Yeti Peaks, who beats the Liberator, one of the finalists. Ducks goes 2-1, Willibom 2-0, and then we are now 1-1. That's the journey so far. In case you just got here, you are just in time because Willibom and Yeti Peaks are going to go toe-to-toe one more time to decide who is going to be the finalist for the AI-MO tribe. Let's find out who that's going to be. We have one more match.
All right. You're seeing a little where are my resources moment. We've got a couple ways that we could explore here, some fruits north and south, but heading that Mindbender north, a little safer. Yeah, Yeti Peaks has really no choice getting funneled into the center. All the resources over there. I imagine this warrior will head west after seeing that, or south. Okay. South was the initial guess. I thought after seeing the village where it was, we'd just push straight west. But south is absolutely my second suggestion there. See how that plays out for Yeti in picking up the center quickly. It looks like there is the big central lake here. Maybe it's a question of how big it is still, but we've seen this play out time and again. Wow, interested to see him push and clear the south fog. I guess it just makes sense. I think he's angling to pick up an explorer on whatever village he gets with that warrior, and also maybe looking at picking up a ruin along the edge of the map. We're seeing hunting. The decision is now, do I pick up forestry as well? There's just not quite that much to chop if you pick up forestry. You can pick up a upgrade on your capital like after forestry, but you'd have to chop away everything else. So instead, we're just going to get the workshop right away, and I imagine we'll see Org maybe pick up the second upgrade there.
Mm-hmm.
So this warrior in the south, this is why I was imagining we go west with it instead. Where is the village? Where's the ruin? Where's the anything down in the south? It's just not very immediate, and also the stuff that it runs into. Maybe there's a little isthmus running through the center of this map. But it feels like you're not in the most competitive area. Like the villages you're taking were kind of maybe guaranteed to be yours regardless. So very nice, very well set up explorer from Willowbomb. Does it go all the way to the lighthouse? One tile short of the lighthouse.
Not quite.
Wow.
Final hurdle. Very interesting map this though, isn't it?
Yes. One we haven't seen today anyways. This is normally, there's a kind of quote, or like a little, I'm gonna call it aphorism for playing on lakes. If you can win on land, win on land. If you have to go in the water, go in the water. Usually, if you're able to push them from land, just like steal other cities, and they won't have time to get set up on the water and push you like that. The thing here is, generally you'll look at that and say, hey, is there a big land connection in the middle? Then we're gonna play on land mostly. Maybe we'll get into a stalemate that's solved by the water later on, like we saw in the very first game with Willowbomb, the Bombers, the Juggernauts. But in this case, the land doesn't seem like it's big enough to support that kind of push, so we might see it settled on two distinct lakes that are just completely cut off by this land here. We've seen sometimes where it's mostly cut off by land, but they still connect for like a single tile or something, but it looks like we have two very distinct bodies of water that the players are going to be competing with each other over. And I feel that we're going to see them fighting each other in the water this game.
We'll
They
give
might
that away.
surprise
The
me,
lakes.
go through like cloaks.
I
knows?
think
Like
I think you're absolutely correct. I think it's going to be a big water game here. I don't see I don't see them fighting on the tiny little stretches of land there. Although that does mean that any sort of larger units, giants and such, on that little strip of land will probably get attacked from both sides. You might see a more cagey game than we've seen from these two previously.
Yeah, I think the really interesting thing is that there's two bodies of water. Normally, water matches just you can get set up on the water before your opponent, like try to fight them while they're still getting set up in the ports. You have a huge advantage there, like stealing candy from a baby. But here, like if you get set up in the one lake, your opponent might just get set up in the other one. And it's very interesting and asymmetrical, very rare type of map. So it's really testing these players, like not their preparation, but like their ability to think on the fly and like come up with things strategically, really. Seeing climbing just for that ruin, maybe also pick up the lighthouse before the ruin for Yeti. Going to help him out in getting this explorer done. Pick up some more vision.
Is he gonna go both? Oh, not quite.
Yeah. Now Yeti settles into a think. What do you want to do? I think he's going to... He's already got fishing. I think he's going to use that farming ruin. That's... do you see the farms, Leif?
Wait, I'm straining. I'm zooming in. Enhancing.
Yeah.
No.
A little unfortunate for Willabomb. A little unfortunate ruin for Willabomb. But give him the score increase, I guess. Maybe the intimidation factor.
Yeah, that's exactly. Hey, you know, that's when people say cast is a padding and we go intimidation factor from the score. Yeah, he's looking at the score right now. Any second now, his opponent's going to immediately quit, I think. On the basis of that, he's going to assume he's been given the best technology from there. Love to see.
How does he want to deal with this? So, I think Willibomb's northern city is pretty vulnerable, but with the mindbenders, and you know how he can tuck it to that tile west of the city, he should be able to defend it. Although it may not be the most useful for him. It's not under any immediate threat though. Yeah, he's gonna pick up an explorer here. Yeah. And runs in little circles, but does pick up vision on the intruding mindbender and the lighthouse enough to get that level 3 pot and the 5 stars back on the capital, if I could speak. So we're seeing here this port. This was pretty predictable. He's trying to go after that village down the south, and this is the port that gets him to it fastest. Willibomb's got to go after this village instead of the ruin here. He might love to, but no choice. We're going to see him pick up roads here. None of this is helping him get set up on the water. Wow. Okay. So he's going to use forestry, and he has to chop one more forest here. But he's going to kick Yeti off of the central village.
Nice.
Sending 3 roads to do it. I mean, that's how it's done. Yeti doesn't really have any way to take this back immediately anyways.
This is what Willibomb's good at, is he sees that sort of weakness and exploits it quite effectively. He does push when necessary. Sometimes it can be over aggressive, but I think that's a fantastic little push there to deny the village.
Yeah, I feel like looking at it in a couple ways, right? One, it's a long-term liability in a map where Willibomb already had that northern city a long-term liability. And then 2, in terms of like grand strategy, if we were talking about these games being played on the water, right? Like Yeti's getting himself set up on the water. Willibomb is not. All his stars are going into... First it was going into roads, but after this it's going to be into defending these cities. And I feel like he can defend them, but the question is, when Yeti gets set up on the water, will it be enough? Especially because look how surrounded this village is and how difficult it is for Willibomb to get units into it. He's got the cities he needs for his Grand Bazaar, but they're also spread out. That I'm wondering about, like, how many stars do you need in roads to, like, manage that? So it is good. It is good for Willibomb, no doubt. My only question, maybe I could say concern here, is, like, is he able to keep this? And yeah, the scout like that, oh goodness. I feel like there was a potential to be more devastating.
Yeah, I agree.
For Yeti with the scout. I feel like Yeti should have attacked the warrior on the southwest city instead. If he'd done that, imagine Willibomb captures, the scout shoots again, clearing the village, and now Yeti's other raft goes in and sieges. Yeti already has the units he needs to make it difficult for this middle city. He doesn't need to pile on more there, really. But if he was, splitting his attention between these 2 cities, and probably even stealing the one in the southwest, I feel it could have been more effective. But he goes after the middle village, setting up this siege here. Does he take an explorer here? Yeah. And Willibomb's very aggressive with these explorers. But he's aggressive in... I think it's too much. I feel like, yeah, he's going after Eye of God here, trying to defend himself, like, some way, somehow. He misses out on the East Lighthouse, though. Yeah, he's chopping everything. He does not want to try to keep this village. Takes an explorer, says, you're not getting the extra 1-star per turn, you're not getting the forests on this, it's gonna be a bad village for you. That's what I spent the roads on. A good strategy, a good play, like recognize when it's lost. Oh, but healing the rider was not it. This scout should be able to pick up an easy kill on it. I mean, depends on if he values the 7 health rider or the 1 attack on his scout more. He could also step on the starfish while he does this. It's a difficult starfish for him to pick up later, but be very convenient to do so now. I mean, everything's looking Yeti peaks. Oh, that was a misclick. That was a misclick. He has climbing. He's taking a break, taking a breather. He's got 3 minutes on his
It
clock.
sounds like you're coping, but hey. Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's gonna go after the 7 health
It's
rider.
going to be an uphill battle for Willy Bob. Yeti Peaks does look like he might be the first defending champion to sort of maintain as such. And frankly, it's a testament to the widened and deepened talent pool that we have access to this time around that this has not happened yet. But he could be the first. And again, an impressive achievement given the difference in quality, I would say, from this year to last year. We've had former champions, I mean, of the tribes go out in quarterfinals. So it's a tricky one, right? Riding now.
Doesn't want to spend the last 2 stars on any warriors. Probably saving for roads of his own. I imagine he's like, if Wilbom had 2 villages that was difficult to defend, the one in the center and the one up north, I imagine Yeti's angling to take the one up north in the near future. But yeah, Willibom's going after this, like, while he can. Yeah, no fishing. The mountain's gonna block him.
Oh, that's.
This is difficult. I think Willibom's looking at like all the hours he put in, and I think the ratatouille strategy isn't working for him.
It hasn't. I think it might have been backfire here. I think you've personally cost him this. It's crazy that you get to cast the
I
match
can't
that
even
you've caused,
disagree.
you know?
I honestly can't even disagree.
Still, there is also potential for Yeti to make a mistake. He is, of course, human. He is, of course, fallible by that very definition.
We've seen him make mistakes.
I mean, we saw him make a mistake. We did see him misclick earlier. So, you never know. A significant enough misclick with these mindbenders around, and it could be curtains.
Yeah, the problem for Willibom is it looks like he's got the 2 lumber huts on his capital already. Since he's not connecting this city over in the east, his giant just became much more expensive. It's gonna have to require him to take the one in the north.
He's also struggling with time a lot. We've seen in this game. Usually he's a little bit quicker than this. And I want to call everyone's attention to something that you said a couple of weeks ago, which was very, I thought, prescient, which was it's better to think on your opponent's time than it is to think on your own. So Yeti Peaks has been looking at the map the entire time that Willibom had spent taking his turn. And so it means that you can increase that time pressure a little bit more each time. But we do see a siege up north. Can Willibom respond to that?
So what Willibom's option is he can... This is already... Like, the tactics are set up here. Willibom, if he wants to keep the village, has to use his Mindbender to unsiege. But then what happens is on the next turn, Yeti uses his own Mindbender to take the rider out and uses his rider to kill Willibom's Mindbender. The other option Willibom has is to Mindbend Yeti's Mindbender. So allow him to take the city. He would lose his Mindbender and the city.
He's done just that.
Yep. But the Mindbender would survive 1 turn longer, and then he can get the siege off. Maybe bring his riders in. No, he's
It's
just resigning.
done!
Yeah.
The Doomed Square was what it was called, and it was thus. Yeti Peaks takes the throne, retains it as well. 2-1. I mean, you should have doubted him. You should not have doubted him. And frankly, it didn't feel like you did.
No, I mean, like, you see Yeti, like, what I was saying, like, that map especially shows off, like, AI-MO's ability to reward strategy and that, like, kind of novel strategic thinking, like, developed on the fly.
And as we can see here, a long, hard-fought journey for Yeti Peaks. Not having a single clean game, but frankly, it's in those moments you find out who the best players are. Can you go after adversity? Can you play under these kinds of pressures, under these kinds of environments? And he has answered that with a resounding yes here today. Ladies and gentlemen, your I-MO champion is going to be Yeti Peaks, and there's a chance he'll be one of those few that makes it all the way to Stockholm. And if you pick up a ticket, you can meet him live if he does that. Oh, what do you think? Is he a good representation of the I-MO?
I cannot think of a single better person to represent I-MO. Like, you know, just in terms of like the skill, like the dedication to the tribe, like you know, the care about the craft, everything. Like the way he plays too, like the diverse strategies. Like there's no one better, and that's why he made it 2 years in a row like this.
I mean, that's the I-MO done. If you at home think that you maybe could do better as a different tribe, you can sign up next week. We do have the Quetzali tribe, the qualifiers which are open right this second. We've already had about 100, 200 people sign up, and it's all going to come ahead the next live stream. But take me through a very brief overview of what we can expect to see with this tribe.
Quetzali is the nerd tribe. I'm sorry to say it. People love them. But like they're for like, you know, the technical minded people who like, you know, care about like, hey, are you setting up your markets that you're going to place on like turn 9? Like, are you thinking about that on turn 2? If you're not going to, you're going to have some problems with Quetzali, perhaps. But they have a lot of similarities with I-MO in like rushing archers. So they can be very aggressive or very economic. You have to like, you know, put your ear to the ground, listen to what the map's giving you.
Well, I think from what I'm gathering here, an incredibly meticulous tribe. And so probably favoring maybe, like you said, there's more technical players, those sort of slower players. Still, I think the I-MO, having said that, the I-MO we said was going to be measured. We said late game. We said those words. And yet, we had some rapid fire games. I think all the players performed very, very well today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us with the I-MO qualifiers. We'll be back next week with the Quetzali qualifiers. Make sure to do all of the relevant things. Join the Discord. Get involved yourself. Buy any tickets and merch that you see fit. And we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.